Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Goodest cast. And on this episode, I have Mike, Seb, and Nico from Auto Real Dream and Era Picture Cars. They're all New Jersey dudes who met through cars and one way or another found their way out on the West Coast. Seb is actually responsible for placing a lot of drift cars in music videos and other shoots. And he tells the story of how it all came to be with that iconic Travis Scott video with all the drift cars pulling up to Michael Jordan's house. Mike is an incredible DP, which is director of photography, for those of you who don't know. He works on music videos and kind of brought them all out to the West Coast. And Nico is one of the drivers from Auto Real Dream, which Seb is also on the team. We talk about his famous street drift JZX that he imported from Japan, some of the other antics involved. We talk about Final Bout. We talk about Japan trips and Kanjo Loop racing and Hondas. We talk about H2O. We talk about early stance days. We talk about what drifting is going to become now that it's kind of at the forefront of pop culture, and will it be able to stay there? We sit down on a couch in the middle of their warehouse and talk it all out. They're really smart dudes. I'm really happy that we got to have this conversation. I hope you guys enjoy it. Check it out. Do you guys like boring cars? Well, if you do, skip this ad. All right, now that the real ones are still here, you need to get your ass down to Cor Works, corworks.com, and get yourself some aero, some wheels, run up that credit card, get yourself some engine bay dress up. They got the coolest stuff out there. You want a sick looking SR with all the doodads? Do you want doodads? Go to corworks.com, code GOODESTBOY, GODSTBOY. Get yourself some money off the Cor Works branded stuff. And if you want really cool shit, you know where to go. Cor Works, and pull up in person if you're in Georgia. Because guess what? They build FD cars, and they build pro spec cars, and they build sick cars, and they build whatever the fuck you want as long as you got deep pockets. If you got deep pockets, Cor Works is waiting, baby. Pull on up.
Howdy ho.
Hello.
Is this thing on?
Lasagna.
What's the deal with airline food?
What airline?
What's the deal with that?
Spirit or Delta?
Spirit is
Different deal.
prepackaged.
Yeah.
Dude, can we do this like Seinfeld and each of us, like Mike, you'll be Jerry's voice, obviously.
I'm going to be Newman.
You're Newman.
I'm Newman.
Yeah. I'll be Kramer. Actually, you're a better Kramer.
I got the look down, you know.
That was anti-Semitic, so I get one free Colombian joke.
All right, fair enough.
Horchata.
We're one for one.
I'm gonna save it for the end. Yeah.
That was really good.
This is the sickest set we've ever had. Nice.
This is the hottest set you've ever been on, bro.
This is the hottest
And
set
I'm
I've
not
ever.
talking about the design.
No, and I'm really
Talking
happy
about the
that
guests.
a lot of people are going to listen to this and not watch me sweat my ass
In
off.
their air-conditioned
They'll be able to hear it.
rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's up with the
Oh, yeah,
snackies,
can we just-
boy?
Oh, there's a bunch of snacks in there.
Are you going to want the snacks?
You want to just lay them out on the table?
Yeah, it's like a choose your own adventure book.
Sick.
Entertain the snacks or don't.
Have you ever had the honey butter chips? We bought most of these for you in case you hadn't tried them before, and that's also for you.
I've also had
Oh, wow.
CC
Yeah,
lemon.
that's
I'm
for
gonna
you
fuck
because
this up, dude.
we heard you're getting over a cold, so
I am.
We heard via your text.
we heard from a reputable little birdie.
40 lemons worth of vitamin C.
I love
Dude,
that.
to the
Like,
fucking dome.
Americans will
You want to
measure
toss that
anything.
plastic bag behind the couch?
They'll measure with anything except the metric system. 40 lemons worth.
I
Big
mean,
Max.
the metric
6
system's
Big Macs.
pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
But 40 lemons worth is like, I can visualize that.
I'm about to say, like, imagine.
Well, the
40
Big Mac
lemons.
scale is a real thing where people like say like, oh, it's the equivalent of like the weight of 40 Big Macs. I've heard that before in a podcast.
How many
Kaisen?
Kaisenat?
How many
Big
Kaisen
Macs?
nuts?
I don't know what a Big Mac weighs.
I
It's a
don't.
PA thing.
Yeah,
Is it really?
It's New Jersey.
Yeah, everyone knows what a
No,
Big
well,
Mac
it was
is.
a podcast that was in New York, so we'll give it to them. They can have that one.
Shout out New York.
Shout out New York.
Yeah. Cool.
Palmer's like,
Should we
get me
start?
out of here, bro.
Well, that's all the time we have today.
I'm really glad we spent fucking an hour setting this up so we could just end it.
Yeah.
We covered a lot.
It's the
Yeah.
plant, dude. The plant and the CRT TV in the background really do it for me.
Yeah.
They're both really intentional.
Yeah.
They both really speak for us.
Same
Yeah.
scene but different.
Yeah. It was cool. I like walked in and you guys were just like, all right, we need the CRT
should we bring the rug? Should we bring the coffee table? Let's bring a couch over there. I was like, this is amazing. So I first heard of Seb when he was selling prints from like the original Super D Matsuri in 2016, and I bought one because it was a sick photo, but I didn't know anything about him. And then like slowly over the years, like the team kind of came to be, and then like the era stuff started like popping up, and I'm just like, okay, these dudes are like really doing it. I don't know like any of your stories. I don't really know. Like I know you shot like went on tour with like a bunch of artists and stuff and did that for a while. And like, how did the whole like drifting motorsports thing come to be with, I don't know how to ask like 3 people, but maybe start with Seb and we can.
It's crazy because I forgot that we met through that Super D. Well, we didn't even meet there. I just was shooting that event for fun. I think that was actually my first time coming to the West Coast. And I remember that I crashed in Kozil's living room when you lived in the Hollywood
with EJ?
spot. Huh?
With EJ?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then yeah, we, I guess through Instagram met through that photo when you like wanted a print of it. So I forgot that it backtraces to that, which is cool because like a lot of people don't know like my origin, I guess, in like cars and cameras is like through shooting cars. And that's kind of maybe, I guess, one of the first dominoes that falls into this whole equation. Because, yeah, I was a photographer for quite some time, and then kind of just jumping between my interests, cars and music. Damn, I don't know like how to like, I can't put it all linear in my memory.
Did you find out about the car stuff like through music, or did you find about the car stuff separately and they kind of just came together?
No, cars have just always been my interest. Like ever since I was a kid, it was like the first thing I gravitated towards, and I just never second guessed it. I was like, I'm a car guy. Like cars are just the coolest thing to me. And then when I was older, it just immediately developed into like getting Hondas because that's what I could afford, and that's also my local car scene was mainly either Honda or Volkswagen. And that was like our Democrat and Republican.
Easy choice.
You grew up like you were in New Jersey?
Yeah.
Sick.
I grew up in New Jersey, and even in my my apartment complex, like there was a guy who would build and tune like street tune Hondas like right on my block. So even as a 9-year-old, I want to say, I was like watching this guy build a DC2
Sick.
Integra, first one I'd ever seen with a JDM front, in his like parking spot in an apartment complex.
Sick.
And so Hondas were the cool. Like, cars were always, like cars in general were really cool to me. Then Hondas became the coolest thing to me. So that's what I first gravitated towards. Hence, what's behind you. It's always been like the force that got me into cars, and then the car scene, I guess, socially got into car. Like all my friends were car people as soon as I was a young adult, and yeah, that starts like the snowball. So like, I'm into cars. I am into Hondas. I build a couple. I go to car shows and meets a lot. I meet a lot of people. One of them is Mike Kozil. Our friendship starts in like pretty much New Jersey car scene. So now looking at era and everything that we've done, it kind of it feels like we got like our friendship started via all this stuff, but it's like we started a friendship and then we have similar interests, and we're just like carried each other's interests into everything we've done, and it's developed into like.
Was it H2O or was it the Wayne? What was the car meet in Wayne? The Chipotle meet?
Applebee's meet.
Applebee's?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did we meet at Applebee's or did we meet at H2O
I think
or
we
like
met-
Fresh Meat or something?
It
met-
might have been a freshman.
I met Crispy and Anthony at a Fresh Meet in like 2013 or 2012.
Was that the same one that Anthony was like rollerblading, filming through?
It was in that era, I think.
Okay. We might have like
Yeah.
loosely met then, but I think we
Maybe.
met via that Applebee's meet.
Okay. Yeah, the Applebee's meet was banging.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
It was like a Wednesday night meet at like Applebee's.
Yeah, in like
On Route 46.
North Jersey. Yeah.
2 for 20, dude.
Yeah.
Yo, yeah.
Dude,
Well, Wednesdays are when the Applebee's has the banging deals. It's like 2-for-1 apps, I think.
Yeah.
We used to hit that a lot.
Yeah, people used to go to the car meet like at 8 and then stay for like the 2-for-1 apps that started at 10.
Yeah.
It's so funny how good Applebee's are for meats. Like in South Jersey, I'm on the other end of New Jersey that they are, but we also had our Applebee's meats, and it was just like there's terrible cars at our meats because it's a very small farm oriented like area that we would just be inside Applebee's eating while the cars were in the parking lot like behind it. And
Yeah, it was
just
like
didn't care about the meat. It was really bad, really bad.
people
cars.
just like walking around. All right, cool. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
get two haps for one. See you guys later.
It was more fun to watch people like look at the Corolla and the S14 that me and my friend brought when they were all just like regular people's dailies and stuff in a parking lot. It was that.
Yeah, there's like some
So we'd watch them go nuts over it.
Main character shit.
Camry on bronze
Exactly.
sitting out there. And
Yeah. No, I don't even can't drop his name because he'll probably see this. But a good friend of mine had a what's like the JZX 110 Camry. I think it's the same one I have, like the 07 or Corolla, not Camry.
Oh,
And he had 3 SDMs or something on it. Like it was really funny.
Classic.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
I had 3 SDMs on the WRX.
Worked on yours.
we were really spoiled in northern Jersey. Like the car meets had really sick cars.
Well, you guys had New York too, so it's like
Yeah, yeah.
but we didn't even get that much New York trickle. Like it would be northern Jersey,
It'd be North Jersey, yeah.
/ like maybe some Connecticut people.
A
Yeah.
little bit of, not New York City, but like
New York
Hudson
State.
Valley and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
No, there's the car scene. I couldn't even call it a scene. I'm like South Jersey is just all farms with a couple people that put wheels on their car. So there's no car scene for me. I would have to go travel for it. It was rough.
Were you near Princeton?
No, I was like an hour and a half, almost
Oh, yeah,
almost
that's
2
what I meant.
hours, which I did do the last first class meet.
I was
and
gonna
that
say
fun.
because first class brought like everyone to South
Yeah,
Jersey.
yeah. But that was still like South Jersey goes deeper than. Like,
Did you
goes
ever hear
deeper
about
than most people realize. It's pretty
Can I
nuts.
Beat's first class fitment show?
Goes into Port
yeah,
Cole
I think
territory.
I think Can I Beat was like from NorCal initially. Maybe not.
Was it?
I don't know. There was like a bunch of Can I Beat meets
Was it-
in NorCal for a while.
Was it Dave and Christian?
Yeah, so Dave
Who started
Tormey
it?
was New Jersey, and
say there's a big
Christian.
It was like Delaware, right?
Yeah, I want to say.
Or like
I
somewhere.
think from our perspective, Canopy was always East Coast based.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought too. They had a huge presence. At all
But
the
Here,
First
yeah.
Class
meets
Fitment,
and
which
stuff.
is like their yearly event, was like
I
in
saw
Northern
that.
Jersey.
That was always really cool.
There was a period though where they were like up there with like Stance Nation and Stance Works for like the go-to blog every day.
Yeah.
So I think when they were that big, they were doing shit like all over the country.
Yeah, they definitely were out there.
Yeah.
I went to like a couple of them in like San Jose, and they were huge.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was like golden era.
You couldn't see a
Golden Era
modified car
Stancy
without
boy.
their box sticker.
Yeah.
The box,
Yeah.
yeah. I got some grails in my little sticker book. Some Can I Beat stickers.
So you're going to car meets, you're in the Hondas. Like, how does the drifting thing start? Like, did you guys do it as like a collective? Like, was it just like,
Drifting was always really cool to me. I was always like, once I liked cars, I was big into just finding out what I could find on the internet about like Japanese car culture. So I'd always see drifting. It always looked like the coolest thing to me. I just didn't know anyone in it, and I just didn't have like the financial liberty to get into it. And it was always something that I was like, I'll get into it when I can. So it always just sat on the back burner. So I didn't get it. I always liked drifting, and I didn't get into it until my mid-20s.
I think that's pretty relatable for like a lot of people who start early on. Like when drifting wasn't as big as it is now, like it didn't seem that obtainable.
Yeah.
It was just like you had to know too much about cars and like building them, and then also like have the money to go to tracks and or street it.
Yeah.
And
Financially, though, it was more obtainable back then.
it was
given
way more
prices
obtainable.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering how much I bought my Corolla for, then to like, I bought that car to make it like a grip car because I didn't have any friends or any. I knew it. I guess I could say I knew what drifting was. I knew of it, but to me it seemed like it's like I couldn't get into that if I wanted to. Then I got the Corolla and I was like, let's build a grip car. And then I realized how easy it is. Like for like Club Lucid on the East Coast, you just give them $180 and you're there for the weekend. As opposed to like any grip day at any of a major circuits, like $300-400 on the East Coast. And you know, I was like, wait, this seems very easy. You have to have licenses and stuff for grip. And like, oh, I'm just going to make a drift car. This should be a better, easier, obtainable form of motorsports once you figure it out. So
Once I was like socially involved, it was like a no-brainer that I was gonna drift eventually. Like I started going to the Club Loose events at Englishtown, and started developing friendships because I was like photographing the events. So I started to know some of the drivers. I started like shooting on track, And then I just knew eventually I'll start drifting at some point when I'm not making like $9 an hour and in college. So yeah, it was like just an eventuality, but I was cool with just hanging out in the drift world. Like it always seemed cool to me. And then once I was socially involved, I was like, cool, I'm locked in. I could do this now. Yeah. I also never wanted to fake the funk. I never wanted to be like from the outside, just like don't even have friends in drifting and I'd like build a drift car. Like I don't know.
You wanted to like actually do it.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like most subcultures, like the rite of passage is to socially interject first. Like, you know, be actually about it. Be friends with people that do that thing that you're so interested in. Because like, if you're not interested in the community, then are you really interested in the thing?
Yeah, I think that was like a big barrier of entry back then because it was like such a small subculture. And you're like, well, I think it's cool, but I don't know anyone who does it.
Yeah.
I guess I'll never do it, you know? Especially if it wasn't like around.
And in New Jersey, it was kind of weird or tough. And it just seemed like the social barrier was like really there because like the guys who were drifting were like biker jean jackets, like American, very traditional tattoos and shit. And I was just like, dang, I don't know if I can even gel with this group. Yeah. But then other people that I knew were just going to the events. So I would like use that friend group to then like socially interject a little more. And then once I was there and once I was in it, I was like, oh, everyone's just like likes, you know, everyone's not as intimidating once you're like in the waters.
Yeah, that's that like Jersey Bloodmaster like aesthetic, I guess.
That's how I got into it, like directly through the Bloodmasters guys, because I still have yet to drift, never drifted, just shoot it. But I wanted to shoot cars moving because I got tired of shooting stance cars. And then a crazy Bloodmasters edit dropped. It was like Valley of Blood or like Track of Blood or something.
Was that the one where there was like the dude in the booth?
Everyone all like blast fire. This was like the first big drift video.
I remember that.
Yeah, so I saw that video and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I want to shoot this shit. And then that's how I found out Club Loose was at Englishtown.
You're like,
which was like an hour from where I live. Yeah. But I would go by myself just as a media kid. So I didn't have any friend group to go with. But then like the moment you start dropping edits, like Kevin, the guy who runs media, and the Bloodmasters guys, and everyone is like, can you come to the next one?
Especially if you have cool shit.
So that's how they were very welcoming, you know, because it wasn't like, I didn't have to worry about having a car that couldn't drift. Because I heard they're pretty intense, like when you're going there to learn. They're like, don't be a pussy, bro, just fucking blah, blah, blah. But no, it was like super accommodating. And that's how I met like all the East Coast drift kids.
Oh, so it was all at E-Town.
Yeah,
E-Town was like,
it's really the only spot.
Yeah, E-Town was like the epicenter for a lot of friendships.
Most of East Coast drifting, like as it grew too.
That's how I started out. I went to Sonoma Drift and I like took pictures and didn't even know who to tag, and then posted them on Facebook, and then people would like add you, and
they had a Facebook group for Club Loose.
Yeah, Club Loose. Well, they had a Club Loose media group too.
Yeah, it was like part of the like when you signed the waiver at the end, it was like you will upload all your shit to the Facebook group. But it was sick because everyone would like comment on each other's stuff and community building.
I mean, yeah, I think that's like the cool way to do it.
Yeah,
it's definitely like I don't know. They run like a tight ship at E-Town.
It's efficient though.
Yeah.
You know.
I kind of like it. It's like they just, I don't know.
It's also kind of like New York energy where it's like, don't be offended, just like
do better.
Do better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which helps a lot of people. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of really good drivers out there.
Yeah.
Like that's definitely like a good proving ground and has created like a lot of really like impressive drivers, and they also do care about like car styling, and
half the pro grid for a long time was Genofa, Forsberg, you know, all these East Coast drivers. Like Club Loose started with most of them too.
Also, Englishtown is one of the most fun tracks in the US.
It's really good.
That is like,
it's really good.
Like we didn't know how spoiled we were until you start driving everywhere else in the country, and you're like, oh wow, my home track is kind of like the sickest track in the US.
Our facility
E-Town Road Course, I think, is
when you get to do full course, like, and you get to do tree turn.
Yeah,
nothing like it.
I love shooting a tree turn.
Yeah, that's like definitely top of my list for cars to drive or tracks to drive in my own car.
Have you been to E-Town, like in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Rich let me drive his like Z. He's like, it burns a lot of oil, but and I got caught up partying with the at the like
Sneaky
barn
Pete's.
thing or whatever.
Sneaky
Yeah,
Pete's,
the night
yeah.
before, so I was like struggling.
To this day, I think about Sneaky Pete's once a day. How good they have it there. Now they have TVs in there too that show like live view of the track and
Dude,
stuff.
Yeah.
the worst hangovers after
Yeah. Well, it's because
sleeping
you
in your
drink
car.
blue drink. You can't drink the blue drink. That's all.
Yeah. Many a hammered nights. Is
I know many nights of me sleeping in my car where it's running all night with the AC on. Like I wake up like 9-10 hours later, my car's still running.
Yeah, empty tank.
Yeah.
Dude, one time I got so
LS
hammered at
430.
Sneaky Pete's, I like went to sleep in my daily that I took there, and I like turned the heat on for some reason, and I
remember
woke up in a pool of sweat, like dehydrated and in a pool of sweat the next morning.
SpongeBob.
Yeah,
God bless that
The
Wawa
fried-
right down
Yep.
the street.
Yeah, dude. That's your first
Save
aid.
lives for sure.
So I mean, you guys drove out east, and then you came out to the West Coast probably for
For work.
business, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you guys followed and are doing some really cool shit. Like,
Yeah, the timelines are all different. Like
Yeah.
Mike moved out here first, so he was the reason why I was able to like just come out and like go to like a Super D, like something's cool out in California. Like Mike already lives there, so I'll just crash on his couch. That's kind of what started being the cadence of events. Anytime I'd found anything interesting that I could do out here, yeah, I kind of use Mike to my advantage. But he would also be very like, you should come out for this. Like, and he was
Yeah,
also very like
yeah.
championing for like me to move out here. And I used to always be like, I'll go out there to do all these interesting things, but I won't move out there. But it wasn't until
I
Nah,
think
no, look at me.
COVID was the tipping point. I was going to try to avoid bringing up COVID 20 times today, but COVID was the tipping point for
Can we have a
so
COVID
many things.
timer? Like a COVID
that
ticker?
Are the way they are now.
Right in the bottom.
Yeah, COVID ticker. Take a shot every time we say COVID.
oh, dude.
COVID. And, but no, yeah, it was. I was working a lot out here, and I saw the need for it, and I was like, Seb, you should come out and do this thing, because he was already doing it before he moved out here, just not as like a company, just like Seb knowing. I don't want to tell your story, but he was doing it already, and then I was like, yo, you should move out here, and there was some hesitation, but then it happened, and the rest is history that's still being written.
I drink
but-
$8 coffees every day and don't have health insurance.
Yeah, and we don't have bacon, egg, and cheeses.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely
It's a lot of weight. It doesn't seem like much, but there's a daily reminder.
I got a question. I have to like understand how this all happened, because like you were shooting, like you're obviously like you're with like, I mean, people don't know this necessarily about you. Like they might just know you from Real Dream and that you drift, but they don't know that like you placed drift cars in like some like really important music videos, and then I think set kind of the standard for like music videos for like, I don't know, the last 4 or 5 years. I know you're not gonna. I know you're not
I
gonna
don't think
accept
I
that.
did. I don't think I did.
Yeah. So like how? Like what happened? Like how
Are you
did
saying
we
Seb's
go
the reason
from?
drift cars are expensive now? Is that what you're saying?
Nah. I think certain cars. I think TikTok. I think like a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, I put the blame on TikTokers, please. Not me.
That's not you.
I didn't mean to do it.
Franchise was before TikTok, bro.
I mean, there was like drift cars that like would pop up here and there. There's like that like fucking old. What's the group, like Base Hunter video with like drift cars, and there's like all kinds of stuff from like the 90s.
There's
where
little
like,
things here and there. but
yeah.
I blame COVID. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, cool stuff will always be cool, you know, and it's
Yeah.
just like if something's cool and niche, it's only a matter of time before it gets to the mainstream, you know, and that's why I don't credit myself too much. Like, thankfully, I got to be the bridge, right, in certain situations, but I wouldn't have been the bridge if one side didn't need to get to the other side. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was like requested of me,
Yeah.
not me being like,
Oh, you
Trav-
should do this.
yeah, like Travis Scott needs like these. Well, okay, so like let's go back to like the franchise video.
Yeah.
Like,
Because I was like, that was it. Everybody's like,
that was like
really-
a huge tipping point.
That was like
set-
the big
that
bang.
set it in motion. I was like, oh, everything's different from here.
when did that drop?
2017 is it? Or 16?
17 or 16?
Wow.
17?
Yeah, I think it was 17.
2017.
Damn.
And then Beachy Owl was also like 17, 18, right?
Yeah, it was around the same time. They both filmed around the same time. So yeah, so
Those
a
two.
Travis Scott and a Bad Bunny project came my way around the same time, and they really just like jump started or just trampolined what all
Were they
this
like,
is.
yo, drift cars are sick, I want them in my video? Or was it like,
So I was already
what's the new
loosely-
cool shit? Like,
I was already loosely doing this, like placing vehicles in projects, like thankfully because Mike and other people that I knew in filmmaking, they knew that I was attached to car culture. So, and it would just be on some like friend thing. Like I just help friends here and there find interesting cars. But then I heard through the grapevine that there was a producer that was looking for drift cars for a Travis Scott project in Chicago. And I was like, dang, he should like be working with me. And I just posted on my story that I was like, I heard through the grapevine that there's somebody looking for drift cars in Chicago. If you're this person, please contact me. And then I got like this DM from this older guy, Kevin, I think his name was, like mid-30s, like private IG, like just a real like producer in the film world. And he was like, I heard you're looking for me. And then we like exchanged numbers, and then we just had a phone call. And then he was like, well, I already found some cars, and we're like deep into this project. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not here to step on anyone's toes, but can I just see, just out of curiosity, what
oh no.
you found? And there was like one like really cool S14, and then like the rest were really like mediocre cars for the most part. Not to shit on like anyone, but in my brain at that particular moment, I was like, this is really like a special moment because it's a Travis Scott project. It's filming in Chicago. They had told me that they were filming in Michael Jordan's house. Like I was like, this is a real big Chicago moment. And then I made this deck that kind of had like a mini essay in it that was explaining how special Chicago JDM and drift car culture in general is. And I was like, listen, like you don't have to listen to me, but here's this information of why I think that this should be treated a little more like peculiar because of just like how special the situation is. And then we had another conversation, and he essentially was like, I don't know you like that well, and I don't know why, but like if you can figure this out for us and like just show us what cars we should be doing, like I think we'd rather just ditch what we have going on here and just move forward with what you suggest. And that's how like the Vanish cars, the Burst Speed car, and you know all these
that
other
was the right
cars
choice.
ended up in the project. Like the main car, they wanted it to be an NSX, and I knew Robbie in Wisconsin who had that right hand drive red one, and I was like it has to be this one. You know, like I was just like like left and right. I was just like, these have to be really really special cars. It's a total of like I think 12 seconds of the whole music video, but like it's the intro, and it's like just like such a iconic moment, the cars going up the driveway and whatnot. I'm really glad
sitting on the hood.
Yeah.
It's like it's a big song too. Like I got a lot of eyes, and I you know, being into drifting, like you're just like, oh, like they picked the right stuff for once. Like it's not like visible bash bar like 350Z. You know,
There was
no
a visual,
offense if that's what
there
you
was
drive.
a visible bash bar 240 like S13 in like their
Initially,
original.
whoever
cars.
that was that you fucking bumped out, they're gonna be like,
I felt bad. I heard through the grapevine that the guy that I bumped out was really upset, and I was like, I didn't go into it wanting to step on toes. That's why I even told the producer, I was like, you don't have to listen to me because you obviously don't know me. I don't have a rapport with you. I'm not like, at this time, I'm not like a picture car coordinator that's known in the production world at all.
Yeah.
I'm just like a kid like writing an essay to you on like why I think this should be treated a little more special. And it really paid off in the long run. I think visually, like in the project, it looked incredible.
Yeah.
And then for my career, like I just, like other producers just started throwing my name in pools when like they would get a creative deck that would go land on the car page, and the car page is all screen grabs from the franchise video, or it would be screen grabs from the franchise video and from the Bad Bunny Bitchy Out video. And I was like, I was the facilitator for both of those.
yeah,
So that like slowly but surely, just a lot of people in the film industry just started to rely on me for that niche of cars that was always popular, was always really cool. It just started to gain a lot more popularity. And there's no like if you need a Lambo, you can go to a rental facility, right? It's pretty easy. Like any of us can leave here and in an hour come back in a Huracan. But it's a lot different when you're in like the film industry and you need an FD to be like on a set.
yeah.
You can't go anywhere. So yeah, it started to build a niche, and then I just started to become like a source for a lot of producers and directors for just like they're like, can you find this? And it would be like a 69 Nova. And I'm like, I know someone who knows someone.
Yeah.
I can eventually figure it out, you know? And then just like the figuring it out, I started to learn the ins and outs of just finding cars, figuring out transport logistics, what insurances look like, what proper payments for everyone is, you know, like I thought it was really cool because even at first I wasn't charging a fee for my service. I was like, make sure the person who owns the car gets a good amount of money. And I just like spend really long times like negotiating even like their rates, knowing that I'm not getting anything.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing for years before it became a business. Because it wasn't until production was like, what's your fee? That I was like, oh,
I can't have one?
can you give me $200 for my time? And they're like, sure, absolutely, here. You know, like,
Yeah, they're like, just 200, of course.
yeah.
Like $200, like, do you want cash?
Now that
Yeah.
right now.
No, literally, like, yeah, they would like Apple Pay. Like, it just started like turning into like microtransactions, but left and right. And at first, I didn't have I was doing it from home, and I was like, a couple $100 a day. Like, this is like more than I'm making on even photo gigs, because I get photo gigs every now and again. But I was moving cars all over the country every single day. A couple $100 here and there was like my fee. And I was like, there would be a day that like 7 different cars went out on a set, and I just made like $1,500, let's say.
Sick.
And I was like, I didn't even leave my bedroom today.
Yeah.
And you were doing it for the love of it.
Yeah. No, it was like I was like, dang, I get to really put like cool cars, cool people that I think should be a part of all these things. Like left and right, I'm just like seeing like, like I don't even know what these projects are half the time. I just know the requests, the dates, their budgets, all this sort of stuff. And then I just like see like, an S13 sitting in the background of a music video, and like something sitting on the cover of a magazine or on a lookbook shoot. And I'm just like, I did all that. Like I got to facilitate that and kind of just like drive I guess what I want to see in the world
Yeah.
through that.
Yeah, I think that's like kind of what made it. Having the right cars in the right places like made such a big difference.
Mm-hmm. But ultimately, it's like a right place, right time thing is
Yeah.
how it came about. It's not that I really changed things, because like culture was already moving that way.
Yeah.
Like,
And if
these
it
things are
wasn't
already
you, it'd be
cool.
somebody else.
Yeah. And there are other people like me. Like, it's not to also say that I'm like I'm one off in like my niche for sure. But there's like being a car coordinator that I came to find out is a real job.
Yeah.
Hence why like I was like, I'm going to move out here and just be like a car coordinator in my lane.
What were you doing for work like before you started doing all this?
I was a photographer. Yeah. Like in the automotive and the music space. That's how I made friends in production, through the people I met, especially in music.
Yeah. Such a like cool thing where you get to go from like something that you're just passionate about to like making it your job.
Yeah.
And you're like, I didn't even do it for money at first. I don't care. Like,
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
thought it was fun.
It didn't feel real. Like Mike was like one of the first ones that was like, you can move out here and you could create an entire like business out of it. And I was
You're like,
I
no
don't know.
way.
Like, let me just do my thing, like on a small scale. Let me just do it from my bedroom. And then I just like, I don't know, like it started becoming more and more real, that I was like, wow, I could do an entire like thing. Like I could put this under a facility, and just like expand it as much as it allows me to.
Yeah.
So we're here now.
Yeah. Seems like it's doing decent.
Living room in a garage.
I mean, you got like CRT TVs and shit. Like, I think you're doing okay. Like, life's good,
We're having fun. Yeah.
The
Yeah,
true symbol of
sure.
success is a
Yeah.
90s TV.
Yeah,
I mean,
90s
honestly,
TV
at
and
this
old
point-
magazines.
Yeah. I mean, there's enough old magazines on this table to, retire off of at this
Oh,
point.
yeah. When have you ever seen Bill Gates with an Option magazine or Battle magazine?
That's fortunately bar.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably afford a couple, but
I don't know, let's see
not
what-
all of them.
It's a more if you know type beat.
Yeah. Picture it didn't happen.
He could afford it. He won't get it.
He wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand the value.
I think Bill Gates would get it.
He would get it, yeah.
Like immediately too.
If he saw this table, we'd all be dead.
COVID.
It's like, you guys are fucking, take them out.
Red dots on our
They know. Yeah. They know too much.
You got something. Oh shit.
Sebastian would be the first out.
Yeah.
All right, how'd you guys meet? Like, how'd you come into the picture?
I came into the picture through a mutual friend, Diego, which you know from an ex-Auto Real Dream member. Sorry, D, but
He's still part. He just doesn't have a car
he's
anymore.
not a part of it. He doesn't text back. It's fine. I'm just kidding. No, no shade, but yeah, we had the same color car, and Instagram connected us through a friend of ours. He was my really good friend from back home. We had an S14, the one that I mentioned about. We'd go to Applebee's together, and they knew each other through Instagram. He saw my Corolla and was like, "We have the same color car. Let's go drifting." So the first day we went to a drifting event together. He was there as well. I had heard about him from Mike. I actually met Mike 2019 in Japan when he showed up to join us on our trip there. So I met him through there, and he
Amazing
was like,
trip.
"Yeah, my best friend Sebastian." And I was like, "Wait, Sebastian, Diego, I think I know this guy." You know, it's crazy how the two guys that got me into it both
Well,
were
the whole reason
best
we
friends.
met on the trip was because we both knew Tatey.
Exactly.
Who was a kid
Yeah.
I went to film school with, but I don't know how you met Tatey.
Me and Tatey met because of Corollas. He watched Initial D and saw that another photographer friend. I'm the only one in his entire circle who's never owned a camera. It's kind of crazy, but all my friends have always been into photography and film. And yeah, Tatey found me through a picture of my Corolla, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go buy one, but I can't drive stick. Can you come bring it home for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And then he knew Mike from school. We all went to Japan together a few years later. Talked about Seb on the trip, and then when I came back, it's when we started drifting together. I think it was like the end of 2019.
I don't think I was there in that event that you met Diego.
Um,
Because Diego told me about that.
I don't remember.
Afterwards.
It was like
It was a
5 or
Pocono
6
event,
years
right?
ago. I don't think it was a Pocono event. No, it was a Pocono event, and you weren't there. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. Yeah,
I remember.
yeah. We
this.
did an event where I just was like, I never drove the Pocono skid pad before, and we said we could do a drift team. So, Spirit was our first event together, November 2019.
Yeah, because after that event that he met Diego, like the event ends and Diego calls me. He's like, "You got to meet this guy, Nico." He's like, he's so cool. His car's sick.
I heard about Seb for so long through like people, and like we met at H2O on his birthday
Oh, right.
in the worst conditions, where it was like a 25-person table at the Pirate spot. I
I was
forgot
about to
Dead
say
Freddy's?
Applebee's, but
yeah, it wasn't Applebee's. Yeah, Dead Freddy's. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Damn.
yeah, I like went up to him and I was like, "Yo, good to meet you, bro." Like this was before we planned on drifting together. He was sloshed. And,
I do remember your 8.6 was parked outside. Though.
was,
I do
yes, it
remember
was,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the first time we met was H2O, so it's all through car friends naturally. And then the whole moving to California thing was wild because it was just like he's like when we went back to Japan for TAS in 2023, they were like, "You should come out," and I was like, "I never thought about that." You mean I could live out there? Coming from like the farmlands of like South Jersey, I was like,
he
we
was
could do some
chewing
real
his hay
stuff.
when we were talking about it.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I will leave my family and all my friends behind to come help you guys with a project. Sure, that sounds great. Do that.
Do you regret
Still
it?
here.
No, not at all. No, it's great.
We're like holding him hostage. We're
My,
like,
it's been great so far. My 1-year anniversary is
Coming up.
6 days from now.
yeah.
I moved here in 6 days. I moved here a year
Oh,
ago.
wow.
It's kind of wild, right?
Damn.
Flew.
Wow.
It's been a year. But
That's
South
insane.
Jersey to LA is a
wild.
fucking.
I'm not even going to be here for that anniversary. I'm going to be back in Jersey.
That's so
I'm leaving
funny.
on Wednesday.
That's
Go
funny.
figure.
That's
But
proper.
yeah, it was just like come out and help, hang. Okay. And it's one of probably the biggest decision I've ever made. So
If I'm not mistaken, you came out once before deciding to move back.
it was twice,
Okay,
twice for a week.
yeah.
Both times I came out, it was like 60 degrees, and I was like, "Yo, California weather sucks." I brought one hoodie because I was expecting to wear shorts, and I was like, "Yo, this place sucks."
I wish it was 60 degrees right now.
I wish it
Yeah,
was 60
that'd be
degrees
nice.
right now.
Cooking
Anybody
it.
like
Yeah.
watching this,
Yeah, it's like
just know
a
like
cool 95 degrees right now in here.
Be happy you
Yeah,
can't
1,000.
smell
Where's
the
the-
video.
we're really thugging it out for you.
We could be in the air-conditioned office. But Palmer said, "Wouldn't it be cool if you guys put the living room in the
He, like,
garage?"
set it up, and then I was like, it's kind of hot out here. Fuck.
Oops. But I mean, the drifting thing is just such a wild thing that it was like, hey, we have the same color car. Let's go drive with my friend. And then now you've got Auto Real Dream. It's just the progression of just like having the three. Actually, our first event that Lock City event where David Bob showed up, when we were like, oh, we have 4 dudes, we have like a legit thing
right.
going here.
I have a Polaroid in my car from that day.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, David Bob show. I didn't know David Bob at all. Shows up with this sweet little baby blue FRS. I was like, whoa. And we had just so consistently did events together that it's like, we can't let this fall apart. If you're, it's not saying you didn't do anything to let the team fall apart. The team's still very strong. But I was like, if we move out to the West, we got 2 here, 2 there. We can riff on this,
Mm-hmm.
So we've got, we've been talking about stuff, but
Yeah,
it's
tough whenever I'm sure with animal style, like you guys have definitely started probably in young adulthood, and then life got real, and then keeping the team together into like being far away from each other, dedicating time to your personal life. It's tough, but like the other end of it, like when you figure it out and get everyone back together, and get on track together, sick.
Yeah,
it's the best.
Yeah, we're like in the middle of that. At least we got 2 of the cars here so far.
Yeah, you guys left your stuff on like the East Coast for a while. Yeah, you were like flying back to the East Coast to drive.
The first 2 years I lived here, I left the car on the East Coast. I just brought it.
It was like 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Almost made it the whole way.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
He would have made it the whole way.
Would have made it the whole way.
Would have made it the whole way.
Yeah, wait, what happened? I think I saw it on the back of a hauler.
Yeah, the rear main seal was like leaking really bad the entire drive, and it was glazing the clutch. So at a certain point, like in Utah, I was no oil, no clutch.
The scariest place
Best
to
place
be.
for it.
Like 7 hours away, and I still trudged it like
He still made it.
Like 2 hours and
we
change?
picked him up 2 hours outside of LA. We like kind of like, he was like, meet me in Vegas. So me and Mike jumped in the
We just drove
the
at each
hauler.
other until we linked.
Yeah.
We realized you made it this way. The car would have made it.
Yeah.
The 2 hours, but for safety, we scooped
for
him.
safety, at one point I called him and I was like, just start heading in my direction. I'll
Yeah.
keep heading towards you guys wherever I make it. And I definitely probably would have made it, but I don't know.
I mean, it's just pretty cool. The car, I consider it a success, even though it was rough for you.
Yeah. We'll allow it.
Yeah. If you had seen the rear main after when they got it replaced, it was just the outer band of it. There was no seal. It was crazy. They just popped it out.
Yeah, he told me. I saw you like right before you were about to drive it back. It was at Final Bout Special Stage East.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna drive it back to California. I was like, what?
I remember because to me it's like a really like, of course I'm gonna drive it, and like seeing like your reaction to other people, I'm like, at the end of the day, it's a pretty stock car.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way it's not gonna make it.
I was like thinking about if I had to drive my car across the country, it would be
It was
like
different.
We had such like polar experiences with the drive across. Like he had no AC, windows down. You had music? I remember you were in Vineland with me when we prepped it. You got the music fixed before Special Stage.
Yeah.
that's important.
And he got the music fixed.
Got CarPlay.
He's worrying that it's gonna break down. He's like, dude, this is so sketchy. This is so crazy. Like, I'm like, just keep pushing. You got it. And when I drove mine across, it was like 90 the whole way, windows up, AC, music, like comfortable. Just like, this is great. I was making money off scratch off cards in like every state. I was like, I'm making money on this trip. This is crazy. Complete polar opposite.
That's crazy.
Yeah, one or the other.
I do it again.
I don't know.
I'd do it again too. Even no AC.
Fresh rear main.
Yeah. This thing has another 300K miles in it, easy.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
All day.
Fuelab, baby. Do you want pumps that pump so hard that they should have an OnlyFans? Well, let me tell you where to go. Fuelab.com, code Goodest, save yourself some money, you cheap fuck. I know you want some good pumps. We all do. We all want to pump hard. We all want to pump long, and we all want to pump fast. And guess what? Fuelab's got you covered. Head on down, get yourself some fuel pumps, get yourself some, drop in quick service fuel tanks, surge tank. You know what I'm talking about. That's what I got in my car, and it rips. It rips all the way to Funky Town. And if you're trying to rip all the way to Funky Town, go to fuelab.com, get out that credit card, spend some money.
The only thing I have to worry about on long road trips is flipping my fronts because I have like -7-ish.
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
How far do you make it before you have to flip them?
I only had to flip them once in I stopped somewhere in the center. I forgot where.
Colorado or something?
No, it was before Colorado. somewhere before Colorado. I
You just
stopped
like
at
pull
some.
into some random tire shop. Be like, hey, can you like turn
Flip
these
'em.
fronts around?
What's funny is that I
You
pulled,
like liveried up and everything.
yeah, I pulled to like some like place that looked kind of like an STS auto, but it wasn't. I forgot what it was named. And this guy comes out and he was like, "Listen, like we're not gonna be able to take you here, but go to this place." And so I go from like this really polished like tire establishment to like what looks like like a dump in an alley. Like I'm just like, where did this guy tell me to go? And like I pull up to this spot and I'm like, hey, I need to flip the fronts. And this guy just comes out with like with 2 jacks and just gets my car up so fast and flips my fronts, and he's like $40.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, he didn't even like second guess, didn't even look at the car like
Yeah.
He's
like, we're making
at the
money
other
today.
spot, like all the workers came out and they're like, "Whoa, what is this thing?" And, like, and this guy was just like,
He didn't give a fuck.
so fast. He was just like,
Dude,
"Dude,
he
just get
he
out
sees
of here."
the wheel, he sees the tire, nothing matters.
Yeah, everything else
That's how it
is
should be
pixelated
everywhere
to
you
him.
go. Yeah.
There's quite a few tire shops out like that out here, especially where I live.
Oh yeah, especially out here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck. Dude.
Yeah.
We've learned to just pull the wheels off here anyway. We have a place to put the car. We'll just pull wheels off and take them anywhere,
Yeah.
drop them.
That's the move for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so now I want to hear how the fuck you got into like all the cool stuff you're doing, because like I didn't know about you at all. I just saw you like around at events, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's like Seb's friend or whatever. And then I like followed you on Instagram. I was like, oh shit, Mike does like cool shit. Like he's like,
We're trying. We're having fun.
yeah, like you
Yeah, Mike is like
A
the
film-
Mike's the springboard for my career,
yeah.
because like he's the one who got involved in all the cool stuff first.
Yeah, like you're like shooting sick videos. You have a film shop that you like process film at. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that fucking like absolutely perfect Lexus was yours until like later. I just like saw it in here, and then I saw you like drive by at that the up garage meet.
Worst night of my year. One of the
was
worst
terrible.
nights of my year. Yeah. Got so many tickets.
That was rough. That was rough.
Yeah,
Shout
it was
out
a rough
CHP.
night. Shout out CHP. Someone's got to do it, JK.
Yeah, I mean the plate is pretty hard though.
That made my night so much worse. I actually found the real plate and I put it back on.
Yeah. So what was it? Just like is that like a completely not accurate plate? Like it's just you had that made, or is it?
There's like it's like customjapaneseplates.com, and I just like I actually have slab in Montana,
Yeah.
so I just got like a Japanese slab plate. So to the cop I was like, it is my plate number, but like it's a fake plate. And they were like, what? And I was like, that's actually my plate number. And he was like, slab? And I was like, slab. And he was like, slab is your plate number. I'm like, dude, like just give me the ticket. But I had no insurance, registration, or license on me, so it didn't help.
That was
So when we
wild
got
part.
past that,
forgot.
the slab thing happened, and it was just like a nightmare of a night.
I was in the back.
Can you get
seat
pulled over like
talking,
multiple times?
I got 4 tickets the first time, 3 tickets the second time. But my buddy recommended this lawyer who like handles everything for you, and the cop never submitted any of the tickets to the court. So
Sick.
like
I'm gonna
every
need that.
few months I'll get an email or I'll get a text from the ticket company, and they're like, we just emailed you updates on your like court case, and every single time it's like still not filed. So it's like
You're just hoping.
they just handed out mad tickets that night and didn't even do
Do
anything
anything
like
with them?
submit them on their end. So it was just
You got a year, I think.
I don't know
before
the
you have
strategy
to-
there, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Scare
we're good.
tactic.
We're good.
Hopefully nothing happens.
No, I mean one of them was an exhaust ticket, and I was like, that's the one thing I can't like fix it,
Yeah.
because all the other ones where it was like no plate, send the photo of the real plate,
Yeah.
fixed, license fixed, exhaust that's like fully custom. I'm not taking that off,
No.
but yeah, fun night.
Yeah. That was like one of the crazier meets I've been to. Like, it's like fucking,
That was pretty nuts. Yeah.
yeah. Felt like old school, like 2000s era, like cops everywhere,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, there were-
mischief.
There were
Spec.
aspects of it, yeah, for sure.
We tried it was just supposed to be like 40, 50 people. We got invited by the owners. Like it wasn't supposed to be. And they were like, we've been watching this for 2 months.
Yeah, the cops like,
Keeping tabs on
what are you
this.
talking about? Like, we knew how many people were
Yeah.
coming. What do you mean 40 people? We're like, bro, why are you so mad? Like,
Yeah,
it was a lot.
Yeah. Like, it's just a bunch of dumb cars coming to one place.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool what we were celebrating, like Up Garage in the US, you know.
Yeah.
But it was a hectic night for sure. And we like all met up like 10 minutes away and we're like, should we drive? We hear there's a bunch of cops and we're like, fuck it, let's drive, bro. And then like got cooked.
But me and like the group that I was with, we pulled over like 5 minutes before Up Garage and we're like, we hear it's getting bad over there. And Mike was like, I'm still gonna go.
Yeah, he called me. I was in the back, and I was like, "They say they're giving out tickets," and we were right at the corner. And we were like, "Nope, we're here."
We were about
As
to
soon
turn
as
the
we
blinker
go
on to
turn
pull in, and then I get pulled over, get 4 tickets, pull out to literally pull back into the next lot, and a bike cop's trying to pull me over. Right when I got out,
just hold the tickets out
I did.
the
I held the
window.
ticket out,
Exactly.
and I was like, "Dude, he just gave me this," and he was like, "All right, I won't pull you over," and I was like,
Yeah.
"It's
You got like H2O PTSD.
Yeah, but at H2O it was different. Because I got pulled over one night for laying frame for like 4 traffic lights, and the cop was like, I was like, I just did it for like a second. He was like, I've been following you for like 10 blocks, and then I was like, oh well, I like won't do. It was like Tuesday before the week even started. I was like, dude, I won't do it again. But he gave me like a pay ticket. It wasn't like a court appearance because lane frame is like reckless, which would have been a court appearance.
Oh my God.
He gave me like, I don't know, broken taillight or something.
Nice.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
But
Shout out that guy.
that's before people were like running over cops and shit. That's kind of what ruined H2O. Because that's when they were like,
What?
because like the next year they like were,
I always knew that there was helicopters and like everyone was getting cars towed and shit.
dude, they were bringing out the horse shit in the spray can thing to like disperse mobs. Like if you were like standing on the sidewalk, like watching the strip, they would like spray this like horse manure on the ground and it stunk so bad that you would like disperse the area. And I was blocking my friend's garage with the LS and I had the door open and homie didn't even give a verbal like you need to get out of here. He just came and started spraying and it got inside my car. So like I started having a what you doing bro situation
Yeah.
and he was like ignoring me and just spraying and it was like it got to that point, you know. It started with like I saw you lay frame, but I didn't pull you over right away because it's kind of dope
To hear some horse
to
shit.
hear some horse shit without you asking
for you just
it.
sitting here. Oh,
Dude, this is horse shit. Yeah, we know.
And then at Sobo, they were like, I don't care if you're drunk, you just got to leave. So everyone was like drunk driving and going crazy. That was like
2015.
Bring that back.
No, that was like 2013
Oh,
or
yeah.
2012.
You're right.
yeah. There was like a lot of that stuff. The East Coast has like a big culture. Like people talk about like SoCal and
It's big. Well, we just had dinner with last night with the guys from Ultrace over in Poland, and they were asking us like, what's the stance scene like in the States nowadays? And we were kind of we were like reminiscing on, you know, what it used to be, and like, obviously drifting's different where it's getting much bigger, but yeah, back then it was like bigger community but more chill. And
Yeah.
like
and
don't
la-
want to keep bringing up COVID, but the reason I say that changed everything is because it gave everyone the time to like watch cool shit on the internet. So like people who didn't know about drifting or like even on a larger scale, like RWBs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like all these people who didn't know about any of that now know about it, and they're finding out about H2O and all. And that's why like I think it died in like 21 or 22. Because once everyone was back outside, a bunch of people who didn't know how to do it were outside with us, like kind of ruining it without trying to sound like an old head. But
I think stance kind of like went the way of, I don't know. It's hard to say.
it was
like,
sick when it was golden because
Yeah.
like it was like we were talking to the guys last night how like it was like a classy stance, not like an over fendered zip tied fake wheel stance.
yeah,
You know, like first class fitment was like
yeah. I think people are starting to like figure out
crazy.
what offset means. And
yeah, or like hella flush, all that shit.
yeah, like that was cool. I don't know. Yeah, I was in NorCal, so like hella flush and fat lace. That was like everything.
Dude, fat lace, illest.
Yeah,
That's where it started for me. Well, didn't start. It started way before that because my mom worked at a car dealership, and my best friend in my neighborhood, his dad was one of the owners and drivers for Rogue Engineering. They did like BMW parts,
yeah,
and so his dad was always taking us to track days where he was racing his like E39 M5 that he was like driving my boy to like 4th grade in.
sick.
He would track it on the weekends, but drive him to school. So that was like sick. And then obviously Fast and the Furious. And then like when Tokyo Drift came out, we all put brakes on our bikes and we're like drifting in the neighborhood type vibe. And then, yeah, was into film. And then I got caught smoking weed at college, so I got suspended for the summer. But that summer, my boy was like, yo, there's this clothing brand named Flipsco. You should shoot some videos for them. So like Justin would get me like a media pass at like Eurofest at E-Town. And that's how I started shooting cars. And then I was like, oh, you can like do videos for cars. That was before gimbals and shit. So you had to like make sliders at Home Depot with like PVC pipe and stuff.
I saw a couple of those.
Yeah. Or like you would bring like a jib on like a rolling tripod base and like pull your jib up to a car at a car show, get the jib shot, go to the next car, you know, like before it was like gimbal mobs everywhere.
Yeah, super DIY.
Super DIY, yeah. And then did an H2O video, Rotiform and AccuAir saw it, started working for Rotiform and AccuAir. And then Sebastian got me to go to Rolling Loud with him, and that's where I met like JMP and a couple other directors. So Seb's kind of the reason I started doing music videos, or at least jump started it like crazy.
Sick. So it goes back and forth.
Because
We're literally always just tossing the ball back and forth.
Literally one day he was like super casual. He was like, yo, I'm like putting a deck together for, you know, to shoot photos at Rolling Loud. You want me to put like one page on there that says my boy Mike shoots video? And our friend who was head of, well, he wasn't our like friend at the time, but our friend now, Nasser, was running the Rolling Loud team. And he was like, oh, I fuck with both of you. Like pull up to Miami in a few months.
No, it was like in a few weeks.
A few weeks, whatever. Yeah.
You're like, okay.
I mean, yeah, that was like, I'm still trying to have like the say yes to everything mentality when it makes sense. But back then it was like, we were saying yes to everything. It's like, tomorrow, all right, we'll see you there.
Yeah. We said yes, and we didn't even know like where we were going to end up sleeping. And we just like slept on our boys'
couch, paid for our own flights, didn't get paid, forgot to drink water all day.
But we're stoked.
Yeah,
we're stoked.
We were so
What was
stoked.
that? What was that like? Like going to your first kind of thing as like media for? I mean, like obviously you guys are really into music. That's
It was
like
crazy.
apparent.
I don't even want to call it hustle mentality because it was more just like childlike wonder, but it was like the motivation to just do as much as you can every day at those events was like firing. Like didn't even need to eat. We were just like on go. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I bet it's like a lot of energy too that you could just
A
feed
lot of
off
energy. You're learning finesse in day one because like a certain artist will go on stage and they'll be like, I don't want any media on stage. And then security in their heads are like, no more media the whole day. And then your boss is like, fucking Offset's is gonna propose to Cardi B, go get on stage. And security's like, no one's allowed on stage. So you're like finessing security guards, even though you're like working for the festival. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's like, you thought it was like a clear, like you guys are gonna pull up and shoot this, but you're actually like problem solving all day long.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was like seeing how you wanted to shoot it and then figuring out like what that entails.
Yeah.
And
Like how
while
do you
you're
even
doing
get to that
that-
spot? Like
Yeah, while you're doing that, trying to find out like who on stage is what position with what artist, so you can mingle with them and try to get a video, or because it was also like a huge networking opportunity.
Yeah. You get like lucky every now and again, and like you be taking photos and then you get a nudge on your shoulder and it's the artist manager and it's like, take down my number. I need all that stuff. And that would be like the luckiest moments. Because at the time it wasn't super popular. Like it got really popular really fast to like shoot those sort of environments and then network in them. So I think a lot of the people got really jaded to it. But in the heyday, there wasn't that many, cameras on stage. So like management or even like artist entourage, they just all wanted to know you because you were just like getting the images that they wanted.
interesting.
Yeah. It was a great networking opportunity, at least in its heyday.
Yeah. I remember people like beelining to the media trailer to like pop their SD card in and like email a photo really quick, like running to their trailer. Because there would be like 10 minutes between artists. And
You'd be like, oh, if I get them this, it's gonna go up.
yeah,
on-
like you snuck on stage for this artist that was no media and their manager was about to kick you off, but then you show them the photo you took and they're like, send that to me, here's my info. So you run to the trailer, but you have to go shoot this other artist in 10 minutes. And you're like, if I don't send it, I'm going to forget. And then I'm not going to maybe get to work with this artist again. It was like
damn.
nonstop. but it was so exhilarating.
Yeah, that's so
like
cool.
getting high thinking about it.
And then the people you're bumping shoulders with, working with, end up being like people that are clients in the future.
Yeah, so many people that we were like first time there with, like it was their first time too, are now doing this or working full time here, or like we're all still in group chats together, you know.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it's
saying
like,
yes to the right things.
Yeah, it's like it was almost like how you like network with your classmates like post graduation. It was like networking with our media team post, you know, festival circuit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I bet it's a fucking grind too, because it's like
it was, man.
Very golden era.
Yeah, and you wouldn't like, they would only serve food for the staff for like 2 hours, but if you were out shooting, no one told you. So if you missed the food, and then like as we got older, the drinking water became way more important. And it was tough, especially Miami, because it's like end of May in Miami, and we're trying to be drippy wearing like ski masks. Just like dying.
You're wearing ski masks.
they'd be like, dude, you see the fucking photographer with the ski mask?
Yeah, it's like
Get his info. That dude's cool.
95 degrees, you're smoking like a backwood full of rapper weed in a ski mask, and then you're running to a stage. You're like, I don't know how none of us died. It was crazy.
Oh man.
I wouldn't have been able to run, dude. I would have made it 2 feet.
We had homies in golf carts, so if you saw one passing by, you'd be like, thank the Lord. Like, yo, Rich, come here. Like, I need to hop on.
Yeah. Like, I'm off that rapper weed. Please take me.
But before that, it was Tuner Evo. It was the same energy at Tuner Evo. It was just instead of rappers, it was like, you need to get the cars rolling it. Because, like, for video at least, if your video is just park cars, you don't have that element of, like, the car's outside, the car's pulling in, whatever. So you're like racing the clock to get rolling, get this. It all translated. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, yeah, it's pretty cool that you can, I feel like you guys have just like slowly changed up like what you're doing, and like right place, right time, putting out cool shit, like
trying,
being good to people, and just kind of seems to work.
Yeah. It's always just been like letting our interest kind of take the lead, and then whatever develops.
Yeah. The intent was always to be involved in our interests, not to like become billionaires or anything, you know? So we always wanted to be there to experience it first before it was like, let's get something out of this. That's like business related. It was more so like, this is happening and like we should experience it while it's still happening.
Yeah.
That's why like I'm almost, as time goes on, I'm kind of happy H2O died, because like it could never be what it was. And like if we forced it, it wouldn't be what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, H2O in its heyday was unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Like, I was watching the H2O videos. Yeah. I wasn't even really like a stance guy. I was just like, some of those builds are just like unbelievable.
The city was just built for it. It was like the sickest like mini game side quest of the year. You know? It's like the town was built for it. Over the years, like everyone knowing like 47th Street is where this happens, and this is where this happens. So you got your like points of interest already planned out. It was like people were building cars for like the deadline was H2O. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Facebook would just have people talking about their H2O countdown and like how much more they have to do to their car, and painters taping the front bumper for the drives and all that shit. That used to go crazy. I'm gonna cry, bro.
And then you take the painter's tape off and you realize you laid the paint too thin.
I wasn't supposed to take the clear.
Yeah.
I remember eating shrooms at H2O once. I'm not gonna get into that. That was crazy.
I don't remember my first H2O because of substances. It was bad. It was a good time though.
For somebody who has no idea what H2O is, because like this is a drift podcast and some people probably have never even heard of it. Like
Xanax.
So your arch enemy is the Volkswagen community. We're doing something super cool, and a bunch of people with other cars said, we should go see what's going on over there.
Nobody ever went to the actual show. It was just the weekend.
I don't know anyone.
I don't even know where it was.
Yeah, it was off the island.
Yeah, because they had the actual physical H2O was the show, but the weekend was just dubbed H2O.
Yeah,
the week, I should say. Yeah.
We did. I mean, what was your first year?
Mine?
Yeah,
13.
Okay, see, mine was 14. But I think it started in like 05 or something. Yeah. So like I can't even speak on like
so
what that era was like.
H2O was so Ocean City, Maryland. They would do Cruise Week at the
Afters. I think
Yeah.
The beginning of
recently it's
October.
been
The
beginning of
after,
fall,
yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much. They would do Cruise Week, and Cruise Week is mainly like muscle cars and hot rods, and that was like a much older generation. And I think what happened was that those people's kids became teenagers, got into cars, got into it was the stance era, like the blog era, and they decided to just do an event a week before Cruise Week, do the same thing, because Cruise Week was literally just old dudes in hot rods and muscle cars
Cruising
from
the
all
strip.
over the country, meeting up in Ocean City, Maryland, booking every single motel and hotel that was on the strip, and just driving their cars up and down that strip. Sick. And then
Hell
kids
yeah.
grew up on that and got cars, and they're like, we're gonna do this now,
Yeah.
but with like the cars that we like fuck with. And then it became like a stance culture thing, mainly Volkswagens. It was I guess
Volkswagen, Audi Group.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw most of it on like Tumblr. It
Yo,
was like that era.
throwback.
Yeah.
Tumblr, blogs,
Yeah.
anywhere that you kind of saw like youth car culture.
Yeah.
That
Stance
time?
Works, all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Were you guys ever on Tri-State Tuners? The
Yeah.
forum
Of
site?
course.
Yeah, Tri-State Tuners. In college, I had to take an English class, and this kid was wearing a Tri-State Tuner hoodie. This kid, Mickey, he had like a brown Evo on air. And then, yeah, Tri-State Tuners was huge. That's how I found out about it.
Yeah, I was on that. I don't know if any of you guys were ever on Honda forums, but I was definitely on B20
maybe.
VTEC.
I had a Subaru back then.
It was a good one.
MR2 forums. Nothing.
You've
but
always
H2O.
been a Toyota guy, huh?
Yeah.
Have you had anything else?
I had an FD for like half a year or so, maybe like 8 months.
You're like,
That was fun.
Fuck this.
It was
I'm
cool,
going
but
back
I wanted to
Toyota.
drift it, and I was like, I
It was
don't,
sick.
can't do this. I'll leave it for Ilya. He can have all the spotlight on that, but
Yeah, that's H2O. It's a Cruise Week in the golden era of stance, and it got out of hand.
I remember
got out of hand.
the first year that I went to H2O with Underglow. People were like, make sure you don't have like the flashing blue or flashing red
Yeah.
because you will immediately get pulled over. And I remember I started at my hotel, got on, turned my Underglow on because I had the remote. And I was like, okay, it should just be solid blue. And then like I drive maybe 10, 15 minutes. We're in like gridlock traffic. Someone's just like, your shit's flashing. I open my door. It's flashing red and blue. And I was like, how did I make it this far? I never got pulled over at any H2Os I've been to. I got lucky. I got real lucky with H2O because my car didn't work half of the time. I had to like there was one meet where like a bunch of people helped me push the car in because I just put ITVs on and I was like dialing the hot idle. And I had to like do it in the parking lot and like raise the idle like 1,000 RPM for the week. Like, drive around like that. Just But yeah, I got lucky.
I don't have the same. This car got impounded at H2O.
Oh yeah.
No, it didn't.
Was it the last time you were there?
That was the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Just driving around?
Just driving around. Yeah, they deemed it unsafe.
I mean, I totally
Like,
understand why.
No, I was like valid. Yeah, like this should not be
Very
allowed on
valid.
the road. You should see what the
You should see
subframe
the
looks like.
rockers, yeah. But it wasn't that. It couldn't have been that bad then.
It was.
I'm sure it wasn't
It was
great.
still pretty
but-
bad. I enough for me to be like valid. Be careful getting it on the on the tow truck. Like
Are your tetanus shots up to date?
yeah. Like wear gloves.
Yeah, I've never been. I guess it's not worth going to now.
We'll see what happens. Everything.
Yeah.
Well, now
repeats
it's in
itself.
Atlantic
History
City,
repeats
which
itself.
like you haven't
could
been,
not,
right,
bro.
dude?
No.
Atlantic City has the worst roads in southern New
horrible,
Jersey. It's
yeah.
really, really. I don't understand why they. I mean, I guess they picked it because it's a similar long strip, hotels, casino, nightlife, but hard nah.
I wouldn't go to that.
Maybe he'll come back.
They
You know.
tried to do one in Lake Tahoe. Do you know where Lake Tahoe is? Like,
Yeah.
it was like Lake H2O or something. They tried to call it like something very similar.
Okay.
I don't think that's gonna happen again, bro. Like they had people from like all over like Nevada and like California like meet, and it's like, you know, Lake Tahoe's pretty nice for the most part, and like that city just like bucked it. Like they're like, no, you're not doing this again.
Yeah. Ocean City was getting ratchet on H2O weekend. They definitely hated it.
I think the iteration of the generation after us is the Slammed Enough Gatlinburg event.
Yeah.
I never went to one of them, but it seems like the kids that maybe were watching Mike's H2O film and they were maybe like in middle school at the time became adults and they're like, well, we can't do H2O, and it has like that similar sort of vibe of like
I see
stance
the same,
cars, big
build
groups
up
of
to the
friends.
event, like Gatlinburg prep.
Yeah, and I see the same sort of like social presence of like people really like planning their whole year around it.
Yeah.
And as it grew, I think in most car subcultures and stuff, as the event grows, there's a lot of people that are interested that don't have cars for whatever reason, and they usually tend to like be the wrong crowd attracted. That's why you had thousands of kids in banana suits with no cars at H2O doing shit in the intersections, pre-takeover stuff like activity at H2O. And it just always attracts the wrong
Yeah,
people.
did you ever see videos of that?
No.
There's hundreds of kids just dressed up in banana suits and were just like
It was a big
causing a
thing for
ruckus in the
H2O.
city.
Just like everyone on the corner wearing banana suits, like screaming, do burnouts, enticing them, like, trying to get them to do the wrong stuff. And you'll never be able to have events like that again as long as people like that are aware of it. They're just going to be there. And
I have a running theory that everything cool has an expiration date. Everything is cool until uncool people participate and ruin it.
drifting's on a timer.
Yeah,
was-
everything's on a sand clock.
I feel like drifting's a lot like skateboarding, where it's like it had its like 70s era like fucking slalom era, and then it died off, and then like I feel like we're coming back into like the 90s like early 2000s era of skateboarding is like drifting today.
Yeah.
Who's gonna do the 900 equivalent?
Exactly. Yeah.
Julian did it at E-Town in Stoneback's car. That was the 900 equivalent, that backy in the red
That was
F15.
That was spicy. I was at Tree Turn.
Yeah, I remember watching that for the first time, and I was like, this is like the point where things start to get more wild from here. Like, that was such a crazy... I just show up, someone's car. Only Julian could do it. It's crazy.
Yeah, Julian's really good in other people's cars.
It's nuts.
Especially when they're like set up really well and like you can just drive them.
It's a real driver. Like if you could drive your car really well, cool. But like what makes the difference between like someone who's good at drifting their car and just a driver in general is like being able to hop into any car and just go crazy.
Yeah, I'm still working on that myself.
Of course, your own car is your place of comfort. You
Yeah.
know the ins and outs of it.
Yeah. That like Jeff Stoneback, Julian Jacobs like collab weekend. Dude, we worked on that car like he brought B Knuckle with him, and we were just like finding random shit. Like he's like, oh, I need lower control arms, and we're like, Jeff's like, I think I have some in this bin, and we're like, I don't know, it was like 4 a.m. We're like shit faced putting this car together, and he just goes out and like absolutely like shreds it. He like blew the turbo pretty much immediately.
Nice.
Like Jeff bought some like whole set like fucking like 35 series like diesel truck turbo, and just like we like V-band clamped it on kind of, and that's how that car was set up for the weekend.
Hell yeah, it worked.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty impressive. I got to drive it before the turbo blew, and I was like,
Nice.
I could see myself in a 2JS15. Like that car is good.
Yeah.
So as
Shout
far,
out Jeff Stoneback. Love you.
yeah, he's the best.
Everyone's dad.
Honestly,
Love you, Dad.
We should like the drift community should send them like 1,000 like roses on Father's Day or something
Oh.
like that. Damn, I shouldn't have put
That's
that in
a
the
great
podcast,
idea.
bro.
we could take it out.
Yeah, take that
Yeah,
out
yeah,
and
just
post.
leave it
Or actually, we can leave it in and just do it.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
here's
if
a
you
link.
do this, like
Yeah,
send, yeah.
Yeah, just
We'll get a GoFundMe link for it at the
Yeah.
bottom here, and then we'll
Send
just take that.
Send
all
Jeff
for
a nice
roses.
Father's Day card every year.
dude, drifting,
Being the
yeah.
fucking official dad of drifting.
Yeah, at least East Coast racing.
Yeah. I mean, we love him out here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met anybody who's like, fuck Jeff Stoneback.
No,
Fuck
dude.
them, bro.
Yeah,
They get their ass
whoever said-
jumped, dude.
If someone like actually doesn't like Jeff Stoneback, that's more of a reflection of that person, not of
think
Jeff
so.
Stoneback.
Projection, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I think
just
so,
projecting.
dude.
Jeff, you don't
Yeah.
like? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone has a valid reason. We just gaslight the shit out of them.
Our specialty.
Speaking of Jeff, like, who were your inspirations like on the East Coast when you guys were coming up? Like, who were you like, oh, I want to drive like him? Or was it people overseas? Like, what was like the driving style or car building style that you guys looked up to?
I talked about this on the Faction podcast, but like I loved seeing, like, even when they had like the Splash livery, like the Front Street Tom and Josh, like I'd go to E-Town events when I was building my car for drifting, and like I think I talked about how I asked Josh for a ride along a long time ago, and he was like, "Oh no, I gotta take my mom for a ride along," and I was like, "Your mom's not even here, bro. Fuck you, taught me. Yeah, all right." And then he was like, "No, my mom was actually there." So shout out, Josh. But I loved watching them drive, and I mean, overseas, you know, it was Ueno, it was any of the not Team Mouse, all of those like 86 guys for me, because that's all I was A86 centric, just like I have this car. This is what I need to like only watch for influence, you know.
Are Team Mouse the guys who were at Nico when we were there?
No, they were not. That was Major Force. Yeah.
Mouse is like this like super old school like
Yeah.
team.
Corolla, mostly Corolla
Yeah.
11 hatch or coupes, and
It's a sick name.
Yeah,
it's fucking great.
yeah. They're also like super crazy high energy on like all option video and stuff. Yeah, yeah. How about you guys?
I think the first thing I saw in U.S. drifting that I really wanted to emulate was that animal style video that everyone has seen. That if I just mention it, it's playing in everyone's brain that has seen it. Because it was like the coolest shit ever. Because it was like the same style of car that, you know, it's seen for so long in Japan, like body wise, but then like mix in blog era stance culture, big chrome wheels and all that stuff. And I was like, this is it. This is as cool as drifting gets in the US, because it meshes those two worlds really well. The driving is hard as hell. Like the video is so fun to watch. And I was like, if I get into, at the time I wasn't even in drifting yet. So I was like, if I get into drifting, this is the method.
Ryan has like no idea the impact of that video.
That's
I could
insane.
talk to him about it, like kind of like when he came out of like hiding pretty much, and I was just like, dude, pretty much like half the people I talked to in drifting like got into drifting because of like that animal style parking lot video, and he's just like, what? Like he has like no concept of his impact.
It was that and the Risky Devil video, which
Yeah.
I think was like one of the first ones on YouTube. I remember being in high school and watching that shit.
I just watched it like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pulling clips from it to like promote Lee's podcast,
Oh, okay.
and I was like, I'm just gonna watch the whole thing.
You know, I have Final Bout 1, the DVD here. I think it's in the other room. We were watching it when we were doing stuff with Ilya.
It's so funny.
When I watch Animal Style on that was, I mean, super influential before, like just in terms of Final Bout, I was like, Animal Style is the greatest collection of drift cars, like as a team in the States, you know.
Yeah.
It was one of the first that I can remember. So.
When I saw it, I was like, these are the only people I've seen that have interpreted everything that I've found cool about drifting in Japan, but here.
Yeah, Julian's a big nerd, and so is Ryan.
Yeah. No, it's sick. I mean, it did a lot for a lot of, at least like planted the seed in a lot of people. And obviously, I think like you get imposter syndrome when you do something like that. So they probably don't see it that way, but
They don't.
they planted seeds in a lot of brains.
Yeah, I think it was like drifting in Japan is cool, but like seeing it here in like regular dudes' hands, I guess, was like kind of the thing that made it feel real, I guess.
Yeah.
Like Risky Devil was the same thing for me. Like I didn't even know Julian or any of them yet, and I saw that. My friend showed me that video. We were swapping my KA on my S13. I bought an S13, and it had a front main seal leak, and we pulled the motor.
Love that.
We were like swapping it at a shop, and he's like, "Dude, have you seen this like Risky Devil stuff?" And I was like, "No, what's that?" And he pulled it up. I'm like, "We're going streeting tonight, bro. Like, we gotta. We're going to the Home Depot Circle." Like, yeah. I tell all them that all the time though.
I remember seeing that video and just being like, I wish like this would happen like where I live.
Yeah.
It's just like drifting on a street level like that wasn't big.
I saw that. I was like, I'm gonna start it. Like, I'm gonna start a crew, and I did.
That's fucking
And
sick.
it was pretty cheesy.
That sounds sick.
No, yeah, that's like just living the life you rap about type beat.
I saw that. I was like, I'm starting a team. I'm starting a crew. We're gonna fucking street drift. It's gonna be cool. Yeah. It was called the Low Budget Crew, and like our whole thing was like, we're broke, but we still like street drift or whatever. And then we even, oh man, I shouldn't tell people this. We made stickers that said "fuck real wheels" and sold them.
No.
Yeah,
That's actually sick. That's like really like counterculture
encourage it, bro.
in the same. No, no.
There's layers to it. There's
I actually
layers.
like got into it with Stanceworks Mike on Tumblr about that sticker.
Oh my god.
And I was like, hey man, like we're just trying to like let people know like you don't have to be like rich to have fun. And he's like, oh, I respect that. You know, like maybe we'll do a write up on you guys at some point. And he just ghosted me after that.
It's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Like the whole story.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. Tumblr era was
Oh man, dude.
drifting. Tumblr era was pretty sick. It was like
Yeah.
C's Garage.
Wow.
Like,
Damn.
I thought those dudes were like the coolest. And then like you know, anytime any like burst shit would pop up, you'd just be like, damn.
Man. Golden era. I feel like we got really lucky. We got to like experience the subcultures on the internet before social media.
Yeah.
Like
That's
we,
real.
We still got to be connected, but like not via platforms that kind of dilute it too much.
Yeah.
You still got to know. You still got to look for it.
We got a bit of that, and we also did. I could say we got like this era of drifting is going to be, I think, a long time running, and I feel like we're still in the infancy of it. Maybe like go back 5 years when we started drifting together. That's the era I consider the infancy of U.S. drifting, even though it's been around for a bit, but it wasn't. If you watch like what we were watching at Thunderhill or wherever it was with Keiichi and all the American drivers, and it's like front wheel drive cars. Like, yeah, their option was covering U.S. drifting back then. And I have the option, like the U.S. versus Japan battle at Irwindale, I think it was. Mm-hmm. We have that one, and like, yeah, they're driving, they're drifting, but what we've had for the past 5, 6, 7 years or so, I think is going to be the next at least 10 to 15. It'll grow, it'll develop, but I think the idea of like the perfect drift car will be timeless and here for pretty much the whole time.
I think so too. I think like drift car style is like lowrider style.
Yes.
Like lowrider style is like people like do different shit and like take different avenues, but like what drift car style is and like the basis is gonna like continue for a long time. Like that's kind of what I was wondering, because you guys are very like in tune with what's cool and like people outside of the culture and how they see it. Like somebody who's in it every day might not like see the tides. Like, do you see like drift cars as like a temporary like novelty in like pop culture, or do you see it as like lowriders where they'll always have like a place and they just might go in and out of popularity?
It's that. It has its place. It's like 60s hot rods. It's like lowriders. It's now like it's stepped up to the plate. It's an option now. You know, it's on the menu, and it's never gonna be taken off.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now it's like special item, or like if you go to like a restaurant and it's like fan favorite, or like you know, that's what drift cars, at least JDM cars
on the menu.
Yeah. Like JDM cars are that, have been that for like I want to say like the last 4 years, and it'll probably be weaning off pretty soon because it's a little predictable now.
Yeah. I was seeing drift cars in like some shit where they like really did not need them.
Yeah.
It's getting
a
really
while.
forced. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has been getting really forced for a really long time. Like I'll like get briefs for projects, and I'm like, in my head I don't
Like,
tell
why
them
do
this.
you want a drift car?
Yeah, and in my head I'm
makes
like,
sense.
why is like the picture car supposed to be this look? It doesn't match what's going on at all. But it's multitude of things happening at the same time, but like it's like how subcultures get diluted. So like people looking from the outside in, it just like looks cool. So people are just like, I'm doing a cool thing, so I'm gonna put this cool thing. Mm-hmm. It's gonna die down, obviously, but it's always gonna be an option. It's gonna be like to this day, I still put lowriders in music videos, you know, and it's not the 90s anymore or 80s when they're like the most popular. I still put mini trucks in projects, you know, and mini trucks aren't the most popular thing right now, but it's like a subculture that had its moment.
Yeah.
And it's just forever going to exist, at least as long as the people keep those cars. Hot rods, same thing.
Let's hope it's cyclical. Let's hope it's you get the chance, like the next maybe the 5 years or so, people come to you with like, I need this for a certain period of time, and it's, you know, you get to play with all kinds of cars and videos, and come back to drift cars as newer production cars come out, and they'll just have a different look to them and have a different vibe in general. Like I kind of think about that often. Like maybe 10 years from now, whatever Ferrari and Lamborghinis look like, there will be a resurgence of rappers and artists like that using foreigns again like that. So
Yeah.
there'll just be a whole different look. The video will feel totally different.
It also coincides with the fact that the last 4 years, like the Y2K aesthetic has been like the most popular thing. So it's even like getting vintage, vintage, it's not really that vintage, but like getting 2000s Murcielagos and stuff like that for projects, or getting like
Interesting.
an '06 Phantom, stuff like that. That's like, looks like what like Lil Wayne would have when it was new or something like that.
06 Phantom you could pick up for like 25 grand.
Yeah. But it's a harder find than finding like a new Phantom. And we get a lot of projects like that.
That's kind of cool though.
Where it's just that era is cool. And then inadvertently, like period correct tuner cars from that era are cool, because Fast and Furious kind of fits the Y2K aesthetic. So anything that's sporty, and they don't even know if it's like Japanese or not, it's just like sporty tuner car is has been like really cool for like the past 4 years or so.
Yeah.
But what I've learned is that it's all just like an aesthetic thing. It's like they just they correlate an aesthetic to a time period. So like if they're trying to do this, it's gonna be that. It's not really too much like they don't know anything about the culture, and they don't have to, because they're just emulating something visually. Same thing when like I get a hot rod request. It's like not like it's that deep. It's
Yeah,
just
they're like, I want an old school. Okay, what color?
Yeah. Like I get like a lot of requests for like a Cutlass or like a G body or something like that. It's like not that deep. It's just like known to be a really cool car.
Yeah, I think you're right though. I think we've like established it. Like it is like one thing that I can appreciate now is I think people understand it, like different age groups. Like I remember when I got into drifting and I drive around in my S13, people be like, "The fuck is that clown car?" You know, like what is that? And like now you pull up and people are like, "Oh, that's really cool." Like older people get it, like because they're seeing it more. They're seeing Fast and Furious. They're seeing like music videos or whatever, and I think like that kind of bringing it to the mainstream like makes it easier. I guess more palatable for like normal people.
Yeah, because I remember when I built Hondas in like the last DK I built like over 10 years ago, I almost didn't like driving it on the street, because Honda kids and Hondas in general just were like looked kind of down upon by car communities. But if I take that car up Newcomb's Ranch and there's like, I could be talking with a guy who has a 911 and he's stoked on my car and I'm stoked on his car. Just because like I guess over time Hondas have now gotten like a different level of prestige.
I think so too. Yeah. I mean, they're fast on the track. Like you'll pass a 911 with the right driver.
Yeah. And for the most part, they're like, there's a lot of cool looking ones and a lot of people that set really good examples. So now there's not like it's such a negative stigma.
Yeah, there's a respect that's been earned.
Yeah, it's not just like a cheap car that you were able to get on hand-me-down.
Talking on the Honda stuff, you guys like put together some really cool like Kanjo style Civics. Like I haven't really seen that like in the US like a ton. I know you'd gone out there and got to hang out with all those wild dudes. Like I follow a few of them on Instagram and they're all like almost more insane than the drift dudes out there.
Dude, yeah.
Like how did that all like come to be?
When I was into Hondas, like the Kanjo stuff was popping up on the internet a little bit here and there, and it on at least the last one I built, it was a stylistic approach that I gravitated towards, and I just kind of like really engulfed myself in learning about it, finding anything I could find about it. And then fast forward to last year when we decided to build Hondas again, we had already gone to Osaka a couple times and like met the No Good guys, and every time that we'd seen it or been a part of it, we were like, we're gonna go back to the States, we're gonna get Hondas.
Yeah, we wanted it more and more.
Yeah. And we're gonna just match this. And it was already like a build type that I'm really familiar with. So as soon as we got back and actually bought the Hondas, I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy this, gonna have like a COS front, gonna have like what you see there. And one seat, bolt-in cage, just like exactly how they do it, like 1-to-1. And yeah, now there's 3 of them behind you.
There's a fourth one. It's not here right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw you guys doing that and I was like, yes. Like that's something that's such a like subculture that hasn't really like made it here fully yet, because it's like it's so unique, and then like it's a subculture in Japan even.
I mean, we were talking about it while we were there, and it's just like I don't think it could ever exist here.
Yeah,
Because specifically where it is happening, like the C1 loop and everything, like, well, no, C1's in Tokyo. The loop up in Osaka is what's called the loop.
I think it's just
But-
called
Osaka.
Yeah.
But like because of the like subway system there, that's why the roads are so empty at night, because everyone's catching last train or else they're not driving. So like that's why the highway's empty, and like the loop itself is like, I don't know anywhere in the US that has
No.
a perfect loop like that. And
that's
then
perfect.
in its heyday, how you could actually like run from the cops and get away and, you know, not get a helicopter on you. Like there were so many variables other than the cars themselves that allowed it to happen. So
Yeah, we've had that conversation a lot where it's like, even if we had a Civic with like 200 horsepower that was a rocket, when the couple nights we gone out, a police car just came. We didn't see him coming. He just was right, a V8 Durango right behind us. Pull over. There's no chance. Like you couldn't get away from him if you wanted to. There's no chance you're outrunning if you really wanted to live the life. And then
The
in
roads are
LA,
shit.
we've got helicopters. The roads are shit. Exactly.
Yeah,
So it's
it's like a city that got literally used to put high-speed chases on TV like
Exactly.
every
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
well, we got some routes that you can have fun, but it's still not the same. There's
It's
still
not
something
one-to-one.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's such a like I get like Osaka's gritty. The people there are obviously like a little grittier, and it's like it just correlates with the cars like really well. And there's like now I think 2 generations of people that have done it. So yeah.
It's definitely having a resurgence.
Yeah, because like they're not afraid for some reason to show their faces now. They kind of like it. They, like,
Yeah.
they're like
they're not doing anything anymore. They
I
have
mean-
other people driving their cars. So
that's the other thing. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like when we
Hired driver,
the last
hired
time
guns.
we met up with them, like the leader had both of his cars out, and we went passenger in each of them, and he had hired drivers, like
young kids
young kids.
that are like
That were
the
driving.
drivers of their
Fucking ripping, bro.
insane. They're just
Yo,
cruising.
what's
in
it
The
like-
kid that drove Mike's car was the one that was going, because actually the way they do it now is really safe. It's like 20 cars will go out, but they'll be making the road safe for one car to rip it.
Yeah.
And Mike was in that one car.
That one car puts the hazards on, and then the other guys equally space themselves out in the shoulder. And for homie who's ripping, as long as the cars that are parked like don't have the hazards on or whatever, I guess they have some type of system where if they tell the driver that there's a reason he should stop, he can. But as long as they're not showing any signs to stop, the dude, we did maybe like 8 laps. And I get in the car and he's like, no seatbelt, is that okay? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And he's like, if we die, we die type. That's what fucking Ryuji was saying before we went in. He was just like, you accept all risk right now.
Yep. Waive your liability.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japan does not fuck with seatbelts, dude.
No, dude. Not even drift cars.
Every single one I've been in over there in the passenger seat, they're like, "Oh, no seatbelt." I'm like, "Okay."
I was
whatever.
hitting the just push your legs against
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
as
yeah.
tight as you can.
Yeah.
And
Same
then,
thing I was
grab the
doing.
Cage
Yeah.
and then film the guy. It was like cage film, bro.
There was
For
one I
sure.
was, you like, I don't know. I had my hands in between like the top bar and the roof, and I was like, if we flip, dude, I'm losing my fingers. I was like, I'll just pull them off real quick. I don't
You'll
know.
be all right.
Dude, in the car I was in, it had like a door bar, so I was just like pulling my body to the door bar, and then my feet like just in the corner. I was just like
Denting the floorboard.
Yeah, yeah, and the floor
little
was
size 8
giving
feet.
way.
It was freezing too, so we had like hella jackets on and shit, so we were padded up. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, you would have been fine then.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Got blown out the windshield. Like, oh, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna
Yeah,
Got the
you're
puffy
just, like,
airbag.
you're just like not able to move because you have so much clothes on, bouncing around the highway.
But
No,
sick
it was-
experience.
It was addicting.
Yeah.
The first time we went, I was like, I'm building a Honda. I get it now.
Yeah, because Mike actually was a very like I've always been into Hondas, and Mike was very like hesitant on it. He's like, it looks cool, but I would never. And then like we went out there, and he was
Well, I'm
like,
used
when
to
are we
going to
building
like
Hondas?
Honda Day in New Jersey, which is
Yeah.
like, you know, not my scene. Respect, but not my scene. So then when I
Chucheros.
experienced that Honda scene, I was like, whoa, bro.
Yeah,
Well, 'cause
and
it's,
then
like,
I'm
gritty.
This is Honda.
Yeah, I've also never
I mean,
been like a
it's
drag
street
guy.
racing, you know?
Because in Jersey they were building these like 9-second, 8-second cars on like massive like drag tires and shit.
EG
like,
hatches with huge fronts and the
like
nitro
1200
front
horsepower
ends.
stuff. Like I was never into that.
Yeah.
And then in
I was big
Osaka,
into
it's
that.
like
But we all love street racing in general.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that was, as soon as we went to Osaka, and we were like, these guys are just going as fast as these cars can go, which
they didn't
is
give a
fucking
fuck,
fast.
bro.
Hey everybody, I'm here to tell you about Tire Streets. TireStreets.com/goodest. I'm doing ASMR ads now because I've lost my mind. I've lost my mind and I'm going to sell you tires from Tire Streets. They have tires for drifting. They have tires for rally. They have tires for commuting. They have tires for your baby mama. They have tires for, I don't know, if you haven't skipped this ad by now, there's a discount code. Goodest651. That's Goodest651 for 20% off. 651s and I think other stuff at Tire Streets. Goodest15 for the rest. Make sure to click the link in the description because then I get credit.
We were with, I'll just leave his name out, but he was driving the car that the first time we went out, we were all in the back seat. And I think I looked down at the speedo and we're going like, it translated to like 135 or 40 miles an hour, and Civics were blowing by. And it's like,
Yeah.
they didn't know that they had gearing options available
That
to
are
let them
that
go
long.
that fast.
Yeah.
The one I was in, I think we were going like 155, 160, and he was trying to get as close as he could to pedestrian vehicles. And when I asked why, it's because if you clip your mirror on a pedestrian mirror and it scratches it, those are like swag points to show how fast you can like skim up against a pedestrian vehicle.
And some of the like OG cars, their like side mirror is just a bunch of other colors scraped on the side.
And like
So tough.
Angeles Crest
Oh, it's so
OGs
gangster.
will like lose their shit because everyone here, and I agree with it, is very anti like crossing the double yellow, which like I support. But
Yeah.
like that's the whole opposite mindset in that scene where it's like, let's see how close we can get to like a pedestrian. But like but no one's getting hurt because these guys, I hate to say that, like they're professionals, but like these guys,
There's a lot
They're
of
experienced.
they're experienced
Yeah.
in their cars.
There's, like,
you know,
The dude run it really organized and like as safe,
very
as
proper.
Like very proper. It's like we all love like streetcar culture. It's obviously taken too far with takeovers, but it's really cool to see cultures like this that still like they're like about doing something dangerous with their cars on the street, but it's like with precaution.
Yeah,
with
it's like the Midnight Club guys where they have like a code of ethics where it's like, yeah, we're gonna go 200 miles an hour on a public road, but if this is like this, it's a no. If this is like this, it's a no. You know, like
Yeah.
some of these pedestrian vehicles that we were like sliding up against were like K trucks going 30 kilometers an hour. Like, you know,
Yeah,
like,
they might as well have
it
been
wasn't
parked.
like a family of 6 or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Gotcha.
so it's like, not saying it makes it any better, but you know what I mean.
one life over 6.
It was still like organized chaos. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
code of ethics were still in play.
I think that's like one of the things that's like, well, it's not allowed in Japan, but like the reason that like they can get away with that kind of stuff is seems like there's hierarchies, and there's
Totally.
like a respect system, and like you
Well,
get
you-
out of line, like you're not coming
Yeah.
back, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, in order to do the run the way that it was organized, the way it was, like it had to require the involvement of so many people, and all people throughout that entire hierarchy are like giving the green light that like this loop run that's about to go down is like cool. Like we'll set it up to make it safe to do. It's not just like a solo guy being like, quickie
I'm just
before
gonna
I
go
to bed,"
blast
net,
160.
You know,
Yeah.
So
the shit
cool.
was crazy. I couldn't sleep that night. I was up until like 6, just like the adrenaline.
I bet,
Like a
dude. I could not
3-page
imagine
journal
being
entry.
passenger for that. Like,
Dude, it's the coolest.
like just driving the car would be one thing, but like sitting shotgun, like, oh,
With someone who's just like laser, you know,
yeah, like that's what they do.
redlining in fifth, just fucking like,
It's like being just a character in your favorite movie.
Yeah.
It's like that's the only way I could describe it, because you get that whole like how am I here
Yeah, that every time we go to Japan, it's that.
Yeah.
How are we in this situation? It's almost
Yeah.
like an episode of It's Always Sunny or something, where it's like somebody had to write this for
Yeah.
this to be.
Yeah, it's like too oddly specific.
That's
like
The gang goes to the loop.
Yeah, the gang bangs the loop.
The gang bangs the loop. That's crazy.
Oh man. Yeah.
Wow. That shit's like Pokemon when like a rare one hops out.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh my god.
Damn, I
It's
got that
happening
master
right
ball
now.
right here. Let's run it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like your like younger yous were probably just like, holy shit, this is sick. We're in this environment I never thought I'd be in.
Everything, even like to the present, is like keeping the inner child happy.
I think it's not the opposite, but like I would not have appreciated that as a child because I didn't have I wasn't as interested in the whole lore and history of it. Like the older I get, the more I'm interested in like the history of things. Like I read a whole book on like the racing up on Mulholland Drive, and that just made it like so much cooler. So like if you go to the Peterson, they have the slickback 911 there. Like knowing the history makes that so much cooler. So like if like high school me was riding shotgun on the loop, I'd be like, this is so cool and fun, but I wouldn't have like all of the like Joey Lee and Seb and like all these people like telling me about like this guy used to this and this car has been running this for 30 years and like that's what makes it even more childlike wonder, you know? So I think the more we learn about, the deeper we dive into these cultures of ours, the more exciting it gets when things happen.
Yeah.
I think so
You
too.
know?
Especially because it's been there for so long. It's been happening for so long.
Yeah.
You look back at like some events, like I couldn't have attended an event where something happened that was a historic event, but like I am here right now, and it's crazy that that's like this night when we went out might not be like a historic night, but we can look back 30 years from now telling our kids like we used to go out in Japan and run with people that did this, you know, like these exact people. We were with them.
There's gonna be some like
It's just such
future
a-
movie about it because it'll get like it'll get picked up and it'll be cool for a bit or whatever, or maybe it won't. But I'm like, you know, you'd be
That's
like,
going to be one of the last memories to go.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I
sure.
think about that very often. Like even just going street. When you first get into drifting and you first get into Japanese street drifting culture or whatever, when you see guys driving at the ports, you're like, "That's so cool! I'll never be standing on that corner watching this. I'll never be watching street drifting because it's such an exclusive and elusive event." But like a lot of people from Japan are recognizing who, not we as in the 3 or 4 of us, but like we as in like what the street culture centric communities are doing, and they're like more inviting and more open. So it's like you get to look back 10, 15 years from now, like I went street drifting in Japan, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's
10,
insane.
8 years ago, me would have been like, no, you fucking didn't, you liar. Like, you can't do that. They don't allow you there.
I remember like watching I can't remember. I think it was Driftworks like made a video about them going to Japan, and I was just like, oh, they're so lucky. Like that's crazy.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
going to Japan, that'll never happen.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
You're
Next
like
thing
those
you know,
guys are
you're-
so lucky, and it's like them walking around like Mahon and shit, and I was just like,
Yeah.
oh.
When the 3 of us did Tokyo Auto Salon, that trip was a very like
Back to back, like, how are we here?
the
What
night
is happening
the night
right
that
now?
we left Sarah's meet, we're walking down the street down in strong zeros, and then like 3 a.m. out of nowhere, like lowrider crew drives by.
Yeah.
We're crossing the street. Larry Chen pops out of a sewer somewhere with 8 cameras.
No, he
And
was in
then
his R34 that he just got. He was driving it around, remember?
Kaiza
He
Kaiza
popped
pops
out of
out.
a sewer.
Oh, yeah.
7
No, he
foot
popped out of
fucking UK man comes out of the shadows. Larry Chen pulls up in his R34. We're all watching a lowrider cruise
The
together.
orange Diablo pulled
4
up.
a.m. blasted off strong zeros. We were like, this is really happening right now.
Yeah. It just felt like a game lobby, kind of just like everything was just loading.
Yeah, and that same trip was Osaka Loop for the first time. Climbing rooftops, like literally jumping from one roof to another to like get a view of the loop from a rooftop because we were walking around on the street and we saw a staircase.
Yeah.
That was with Tatey,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but don't say the name of the place.
We'll
because
never
we gotta
we'll never
gatekeep
give
that.
it away because it's still accessible.
Because you can
but-
find it pretty easily, but yeah, the first time we found this, I'm not kidding. It's like 5 minutes of going up, like 4 stairs turning. It takes a while
it's
to get to
maybe
the
20
top.
stories.
Yeah, and then you hop up, you hop over.
You
and
stand
then-
on a railing, like looking down the building,
Yeah.
and then you like edge the corner to go to this other rooftop.
Yeah, and you get the perfect view of like a long stretch of the loop.
Yeah, like both sides.
And I remember in 2017 when we went for the first time, we were up there. We had strong zeros. We had like bags of snacks and strong zeros, and we were just like hanging out with some randos we met that night too up there. That way we like brought everyone up there.
There were like 8 of us up there.
And like Tatey was like, I just wish we could see like a cool car. And then like 2 minutes later, a red A86 hatch, which is like one of the only ones we've seen. You don't see a lot of them.
No.
But red 86 hatch just ripping down the loop. We were just like, that's like the only car. Everything else is just like regular eco cars, just like going home. And there was one red 86 hatch that drove by, and we were just like, this is like it could have been any other car, but like the one car that brought us all there just zoomed right by.
It's almost like you manifested it.
It's weird. It's almost like my perceived reality is whatever I make it.
Yeah. It was actually like an Altima, but you saw
you guys aren't real. None of this is real. So
It was an Altima, and you were in South Jersey.
Yeah, I just brought way too much acid to Japan. I was like, look at the Corolla, and they're like, dude, you're laying on the ground foaming right now.
It's like, dude, we're in a McDonald's. Teriyaki burger.
Eat your Ebi Flav.
Samurai Mac.
We're at the airport, bro.
Yeah.
No, there's magic when you go on a trip with your friends. You guys just make shit happen. You can go. We've been on this Japan trip with some people that all of our homies that went were cool, but there's been external people that came in that are like, okay, well, this guy's kind of bringing the vibe down. Let's keep the night going.
Let's just
elsewhere.
go somewhere else.
Let's just go somewhere and do something, and then you can turn it around. It's like, as long as you plan to have a good time, you will.
Yeah.
That's a crazy place. That's my like, America gets destroyed. I'm moving to another country for sure.
Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't you just bring a bumper back
Yeah. I told them it was a bunch of archery equipment.
like a giant bow?
A giant bow for a music video. I was in the Uber trying to Google like, what am I gonna do if they say no? And then I was under the sports equipment section, and it said archery, as long as it weighs under 100 pounds, and is like, if these dimensions add up to this number and it's below that number, then you can bring it.
Do the box literally? Just look like a cardboard, a bumper with cardboard boxes formed around it, so it looked like a big bow.
Yeah.
I told him
it was
dude,
like a big U. It was hilarious.
When he texted, he's like, I told him it was a comically large bow we needed for a music video, and I was just like,
They didn't understand, and I was like, big bow, small person, and they were like, ha ha ha, I get it.
we love it.
That's the finessing you learn from
From
Rolling Loud.
Exactly.
Downtown security. Like, no, I'm supposed to be there.
Stage,
Yeah.
bro. You didn't talk to fucking
Yeah.
Bob and Jim over at security.
Dude, yeah. Learning the proper name dropping. Like,
Name drop. Yeah, we would go there every
learning
morning.
what their boss's name is.
Be like, what was your name? Happened last night at Dan Sung. We got a new name at
yes.
Dan
We
Sung.
do?
Yes.
Don't say it.
I won't
Tell
say
me
it.
later.
I won't say it.
Yeah.
Dan Sung is
I'm gonna
in,
need that off the mic
Oakland.
though. I always get sat in the
need
back
that
section.
You
dude.
just say it and just like bleeped out.
Blur out the 2 words, Dan bleep. Like,
Yeah.
We got a new name.
We used to have a really good homie that worked
He's
at
still
Dan
our
Sung.
homie.
He's
Shout
still our
out-
homie. He
shout
just
out
doesn't
Raph.
work there anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out Raph.
Shout out, Raph.
shout out Raph. But yeah, I don't know if you've ever been like at over a 1 hour wait at Dan Sung, but like it'd
Every
be
time
like
I
that.
go,
Like
yeah.
pull
Dan
up and there's
bleep,
an hour
Dan bleep.
wait, and Raph would see us and he's like, I got you. And like 5 minutes later, we'd have a table.
We'd go in and hunt him down.
Yeah.
That's a serious plug.
But now we don't. Yeah, we're like trying to form a bond with.
Well, yesterday it worked out
Target.
because he was bringing us in, and some guy stopped him at the door and was like, "Hey, man, like we're just a party of 2. Like you can't slide a table next to these guys and just seat us." And I look at him and I'm like, "Don't make us a party of 7. I don't know this guy." And the guy was like, "Thanks, buddy." And we just go in, and the dude bringing us in, he was like, "I don't fucking care." And I was like, "I don't care either." And I was like, "What's your name, bro?" He's like, "Justin." I'm like, "What's up, bro?"
Oh, bro, you said the name.
Blow that out too. Blow that out too. Blow that out too.
We'll cut it out.
No one knows what he looks like. No one knows what he looks like.
Yeah, he's wearing a camo shirt.
We're gonna go in next time and see him and be like, he's run down, like sweating, like, dude, ever since you said that name, everybody's been asking
bright-
for me.
he has
No one
bright
listens to
orange
this
hair.
podcast. It'll be fine, but I'll cut it out anyway.
He has bright orange hair and he's naked.
Yeah, so remember, Justin at McDonald's
the employee-
in K-Town.
If the employee's
Ask him
wearing
if he
clothes,
buys
it's
some
not him.
Fuck.
Ask for the iShow Speed Burger. Holy crap, that's so funny.
dead.
All right, so you guys have obviously like progressed in life in like a very cool way that I'm sure a lot of people would like want to do also. Like, what have you learned over the years of like, I don't know, I don't want to say like climbing the ladder because that sounds cheesy or like whatever, but I think
Trudging
you've definitely
through the
like
mud.
leveled up as far as like positions you're in and like places you get to go and like situations you get to experience, like, you know, stuff that not a lot of people get to do. Like what have you learned are like some of the key ways to like, I don't know, be the right personality traits or whatever, just to like get yourself into cool shit.
I don't know. I think it's all subjective. Some people would look at my life and be like, you did a lot of great things. And some people would look at my life and be like, you haven't done shit, you know? And I think they're all, that whole spectrum is valid, you know? And I think if I've learned anything from this is like, I'd rather just live a life honest to what's going on in here than anything out here, if that makes sense. Because then at the end of the day, like, you know, I'm the only one flipping through the mental photo book on that deathbed, you know? And it's like nothing else really matters besides like that photo book looking like as cool to me as possible. So I don't like recommend the way I am tackling life. It's not smart, I guess. in the grand scheme.
Consistent.
It's not consistent. It's not smart. It's not
that it's
it's
not
not
smart.
what a lot of people would consider sustainable. It's just like, to me, it feels honest. It feels great. Everything I look at, like from my friends to the cars around me to the projects that I'm involved with, I'm like excited about. So I'm cool with whatever that is the byproducts or like the downfalls and the negatives of all that is. Not to get like too deep or woo-woo, but it's just like, that's just, I don't know, I like locked in on that idea and I just like let that carry me through everything. But I don't think it's the best way. I don't think it's the smartest way. I just think it's my way. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you take a step back and like, I mean, we've all had the conversation with our parents at maybe even this month where they're like, when are you gonna do, you know, they ask, what are you guys doing out there? And it's hard to say. We're kind of living freelance, pushing a dream. And like past 10 years, I've been thinking, okay, having a job where I worked with my family's restaurant. We've been there for like 25 years. So I worked there my whole life. And I was like, yeah, as long as I'm here and I'm working and I'm getting money every week, then this is, you know, what I'm going to do to build my future. But that all has a cap on it. You know, that all has like a, you know, you can only make a certain amount a year unless you open more restaurants. You can do that, but I had no interest in it from the beginning. So moving out here was like a lot like that, where it's, I guess what I'm trying to say is push the dream you have. And that way, when you look back on it 10, 20, 30 years from now, you can say, you know, you either made it to that long or you didn't, and you fell back on something. Or knowing that we've been pushing Era and Real Dream and everything that we're doing, yeah, that's kind of all that really mattered this whole time. So I'm not even sure if that actually answered the question, to be honest. But I think no. But yeah, as long as you're doing what you feel you need to be doing, like, you know, we're out here pushing Era. Whether it gets us there or not, you know, no regrets. That's it.
Yeah. If you follow your dreams, you're not going to regret the decisions that you make.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like this question could be an entire podcast episode.
Yeah.
There's like so much you could say about it. But
It's tough to compress it.
It's very tough to try to put it all into a quick answer without rambling. But
You can ramble, do it as a podcast.
basically, like, I feel like if also everyone comes from different situations. So like doing something you love isn't always going to be the most financially smart decision, at least in the beginning. So like if that's
facts.
what's holding
Exactly.
you back, then like I don't think you can really take advice other than like get your money up and like save some money and then like chase your dream and like live off your savings until your dream can pay for your life. You know what I mean? But taking that out, I think it's just like, it's tough because like we're very lucky that we get to live off of our passions. And I think the thing that drives that is your passion. So as long as you are still passionate or remain passionate about the thing you're chasing, whether it's like an industry as a whole or a position or a community, whatever it is, like you'll be good. as long as you keep it true without sounding corny, you know, like, because you could tell right away, especially in like the music and the film industry, when someone's in it just to like, they think they can get a bag off of this, because the way that they move is not with passion. So when it comes time to decision making or like path, you know, plotting, and you can tell that someone's entire like motivation is strictly money, it's like it takes the passion out, you know. So like when me and Seb plot like R&D nights or movie nights and all of that, like we don't make any money off of that. It's just because like we have a space, we have interests that we know a lot of people share with us, and it's like, let's create an environment where we can like appreciate that together. And like if that leads to relationships that can continue to support us pursuing our passions financially, then like that's a benefit to it. But like the decisions aren't made with that in mind. And like I guess I don't remember exactly what the question was. Like
Same problem, bro.
like if it's like what you do to like what you personally do to like keep it going. But like my main thing is like always stay humble. Like you're never too high up to fucking be the one to take the trash out. You know what I mean? Like you also can't be like saying no to things because you're like, I've gotten to this level, so I'm never going to go back down to that level, because sometimes the no money, no clear beneficial outcome things end up being some of the things you like remember for the rest of your life, whether it's because of the people you did it with, what the final product was, the experience making it. Like the journey is the destination, you know what I mean? So like if you're having fun along the way, then like that's what you look back on. You don't look back on, you know, you might look back, I'm trying to think of like what the final product is. I don't want to say like it's like your company or your house or your car or whatever, but it's like what you did along the way to get there is what really matters, without it sounding cheesy. So like as long as you're having fun along the way and you can like afford to live, then like what more do we really need, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously I'm saying that in a room full of really sick cars, but like that's our like vice. Unfortunately, that's our addiction, you know,
It's
like
not keeping any money.
yeah. And it's like I got
for a greater passion and good.
I got homies who spend hella money on like drip and like clothes, and like I don't get it, but like I'm not gonna tell them no. Just like no one can tell me not to fucking, you know, buy a weird bumper for my fucking GTR, you know. Because
I love how you're saying that with like
that.
the rude sneakers in camera.
All right. I was confused when I bought these. You know, I was trying to figure out my drip.
He thought there was like less zeros in the price.
I don't know. Once you stop having fun, though, what's the point of what you're doing? So just try to stay having fun, even when it gets hard. You got to remember.
Yeah, that's a huge point. I've watched my parents work all day, 7 days a week for the past 25 years, and I look at, they're like, why don't you want to do this? And I'm like, all you guys do is work. You guys are falling apart. Like, stop working for a little bit.
Yeah, but we all have immigrant parents.
Exactly.
And that's like a huge immigrant parent thing. Like,
I mean, I look back, like where I work in a bar right now. So that's been like my second job for a little bit. And people often tell me like, you're like one of the hardest working people here. And I was like, well, I'm just thinking of my dad. Like my dad would be looking at me doing this, like that's my boy. And I look at how they worked. I'm like, if I can apply their ethic to everything I do, I know I'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's facts. Well, you guys may have forgot the question, but you got the job, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what you asked. Like
wait,
personality traits that would.
No. It was, what did you guys learn over the years that helped you progress? Something like that.
Oh, be nice to everyone, because you never know who's going to be who in 2 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's bit me in the ass for sure.
Yeah. You see that a lot in drifting, where like there is for some reason an elitist like air to a lot of cars, and like from being from the East Coast, we kind of all thought everyone on the West Coast was just like, your cars are stupid, you know.
Yeah.
Until you meet all of them, you're like, you guys are great. And I think it was just something that big East Coast drifting tried to promote.
I think I've been hearing a lot. I've been hearing a lot lately, like the East Coast.
Our
like,
cars are shitty, but we're better drivers.
Things like fucking West Coast drivers like hate them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we like. I've never met anybody who's been like, man, fuck these. Like everybody's like, oh, those guys are all really cool. I guess like, I don't know.
It's telephone effect.
I don't know what we did.
Telephone. Yeah, it was telephone from West Coast to East Coast, and by the time it got to a certain group of drivers on the East Coast, they were like, They called us what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
guys
I can't
can't
speak
draw.
for everybody on the West Coast, but like, I've never like been in a circle where like it just comes up and they're like, "Oh, East Coast guys,"
Yeah.
you know.
I feel like I've dealt with it like personally, like as an individual when I didn't have a cool car, going to an event trying to talk to people with cool cars. And I'm not looking at you, Josh, because you're cool. But it's like you kind of get intimidated.
He's talking about you,
And-
Tom.
Yeah, I'm talking about you. No, Tom was always. I
my
actually
God.
don't really remember Tom. I think I met Josh first, but
I met a very young Tom.
yeah,
Yeah.
Tom was like 17 when he started going to Club Loose.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been in
I
it.
met him then.
My heroes. But I mean, I've talked to some drivers, even if they didn't have cool cars, they were just like unapproachable. Like,
No, that fucking happens
Some-
everywhere.
yeah, and it's like,
some dudes
damn.
at Club Loose had a crazy aura. Like
Yeah.
you could not, like Bloodmasters, you would not approach those
Exactly.
guys.
Yeah.
I definitely try to be nice to everybody, but sometimes like I don't know, at Grid Life, I'm like literally swapping my diff and this dude comes over and like the car's on like jacked up and there's like 2 diffs on the ground and me and my homie Cal are
Can we
like
get a ride along?
sealing one of the things and he's like, is your car good?
Some people don't read
And I
the
was
room.
just like,
Some
I was
people
like,
do not read the room.
Yeah.
no man, we're swapping the
You're
diff.
like the
He's
dude in the bear in the
cool,
kitchen.
cool. You got like I try really hard, you know.
Yeah.
It's like on set and someone's like, yo, Travis Scott, can I freestyle for you really quick?
Yo,
No
I was like
way.
in Lords of Dogtown.
Yeah.
Hey, Bam, can you watch my tape? I'm not gonna
Yeah.
watch your fucking
Yeah,
tape right
it's
now. Like,
dude, read the fucking room right
Yeah,
now.
like a flip
Does
side
that
of being nice
happen?
to everyone is read the room.
Yeah.
Is a really important.
I mean, a lot
I've
of
seen it
times
happen.
I think
That
in
might
the
be the
last
best
final
advice
bout-
anyone's ever given.
Yeah. Last final bout where I forgot exactly what the the context was, but like we had like our hands on our head for something, and someone asked like, "Are you like?" I forgot what they asked, but we were just like, "Sorry, brother. Right, we're gonna have to get back to you after like the comp. Like we have something going on right now. We had to like stop them for a second, and it's cool if you do it that way. I think it's great, but I mean that kind of strays from the original point of just being generally unapproachable.
I was stressing. I was stressing at the last final bout. I was like trying, but there was so many people there.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to make time for everybody.
Did they have a foot count for the last final? I don't know how many people were how many people were there.
I don't want to like estimate, but the year before was like 3K.
Yeah, I think they said
And
4,000
this-
for the year before.
That's crazy.
That's the number
And this
I
last
remember.
year was insane.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Like,
Love seeing growth, baby.
yeah,
But yeah, because they actually made like another parking area.
dude,
Didn't
it was
they?
unbelievable
That's so
how many
cool, though.
people were there.
That's fucking great.
I love it.
Yeah.
Guess who wasn't there, bro?
Oh,
Yo, we did.
Oh man.
None of
Idiots,
us.
bro.
It's cooked.
Big FOMO.
I vowed to never miss another one after they announced Alexi was going to be there.
Yeah. with
Charm
the-
hurt. It really hurt when they announced Charm. And I'm sorry if I derailed the conversation to
No,
final
you're
bout,
good.
but then that fucking sucked.
I'm gonna name drop Alexi. We were like cracking beers and playing like Uno with Alexi at the hotel. It felt really weird because I like
Living the dream.
the guys that like I got into drifting
would be so
because
good.
of like would show me like all the Noriaro
Yeah.
stuff. Like that's what we would watch. We worked at like a Geek Squad like car audio install
Oh,
bay,
nice.
and we had a little computer and we'd pull up like drift
Oh, hell
videos
yeah.
all the time, and it was like always Noriaro. So,
That's
like,
crazy. That's
super
fire.
sick. It's
Like,
a sick visual.
Yeah. I'm
in my
visualizing
Geek
it.
Squad fucking uniform,
Geek
little
Squad guys
skinny ass
watching
fucking
I love it.
gangly Palmer, like, oh dude, it's sick.
Yeah, like Seb saw me almost have a breakdown when they announced Charm was coming because I was like,
You were like actually depressed.
I hit a pretty hard wall this year because like moved here a year ago. It's been a really rough year, but we grinded through it, and I sold the JZX in last December. So that's like
That
I
was-
didn't want to. I had to. I had no choice. I came
That was
down to
hard.
like the last few dollars in my bank account.
I bet that was really hard. That car was very cool. Thank
was
you
very
for letting me
cool.
drive it. That was the first JZX I'd ever
Yeah,
gotten to drive.
yeah,
I forgot
yeah.
you got to drive
Oh
it.
yeah,
That
you
was-
did drive it. Yeah, it's much
Yeah,
stage.
Yeah, dude.
It's a good car, and like, but we were all in Japan when we went to go see it, and
Yeah, can
when
you
we went-
tell the story about that? Because it's like really interesting.
Yeah, so I had sold the 86, decided to like graduate to a new car because I was like, oh, I did this for like almost 10 years. I love this car, but I want to have like, and I sound like an idiot talking about it now, but I wanted to have a machine, and that was like the most machine car I ever owned. So
Can
I
you
got the
explain
FD.
to me what machine means? Like,
I mean, just like you just see guys like do battle with like an S chassis. You know what I mean? They can hang with any
Gotcha.
car, any type. My car was pretty quick. I could hang with like, I mean, I drove a lot with Stoneback at Final Bout with the Corolla, and it was really difficult. But
Yeah.
like in the clips I saw, I'm like kind of like 2 car lengths. I'm like me pushing that cart as hard as I could to hang with him, and it's like I had an S13, if I had something with like 300 reliable horsepower, as opposed to all my money in an engine that makes 200 almost max, you know?
Yeah.
It's like time to
If you
step
crash
up a
it, you're
little
gonna
bit.
have to like
Exactly. So, and I was sitting on a relic with the Corolla, so it was very much like, if I do total it, or if I just turn it into a tin can as it is already, I'm left with nothing. So I was like, time to get a new car that I can play with. For some reason, I bought my friend Mike's FD, and I was like, maybe I'll drift it, but I got it for a good deal. Drove that for a bit, realized I need to go back to Toyota. I need something with a straight six. I need something with that kind of power. I don't want to put 10, 15K into a drift car and then be in the same situation as the Corolla. I have all my money into a car. I crash it, I'll be very sad. So the JZX came up, and Diego had just bought his Chaser. He was like, bro, you need to get this car. And I was like,
and it was in Japan, right?
it was in Japan. Koda was selling it. And I was like, I need to get this car. And then once we learned the history of that car and who he was selling the car for, it was an absolute no-brainer. It was like, I just immediately gave him money. I was like, go, give me car.
Sick car.
And yeah, it belonged to Daiki, and that car was if you search JZX 100 Cresta, the first like 7 photos are that car in like different colors. And it was white, yellow, purple with like hella glitter, red, green, I think at some point, some kind of primer green. But
Why do you think he changed the color so often?
he changes so often just because of how hot the car was. he was
So
very
sick.
prominent street drifter. There's a lot of clips of him driving at the ports and at Daikoku and stuff, and cops always after him. So he's just quick spray, paint. All the paint sucked on it, and I got it in its black rendition, which was arguably my favorite color for that car.
Yeah.
And when I was prepping the car for final bout, and I was doing the eyelids were all chopped up and cracked. And I was sanding it down. I would go, green, purple, yellow, red. It was just, I have a photo on my phone somewhere of just it's just a crazy palette of different colors. And that meant a lot. I was like, this is a special car. When we'd like hit something, if I was drifting and like chip a piece of paint on someone's wheel or something, you'd see the purple underneath of it. It's almost like he didn't prep it. He just blasted it in black.
Yeah.
So it was a very special car in general. And it worked really. It was very well proven. So when we went to Japan, we saw the car for the first time. We did a private day. It was like a small event at Fuji, and Charm was there. So they were in their group. I had to do like the very beginner group because I'd never driven there before. But driving the piss out of that car in the rain at Fuji. I ended up driving in like a couple groups with like Koda, and I was like, okay, cool. I didn't get to drive with Charm, but we were all there at the same time.
So
and like
sick.
we acknowledged each other, and so I was like, this car, Charm. I've been in Japan with Charm in this car before. If I had kept the car, maybe we would have done better at special stage this year. Maybe I mean, we only had 3 cars, which kind of hurt. We needed Juan's car, but all of the thoughts went through my head. Like, did I throw final bout away from getting rid of this car? Like.
Damn.
I had to learn another new car, and we had to stay up super late to like build it the night before for special stage. We literally got to Virginia at like 4 a.m, applied the rest
You
of
guys
the
had like
livery.
a bunch of chaos before final bout this year, huh?
It's bad, but you get that with a bicoastal team, I think. So you kind of, it's
You know how it is.
Yeah, exactly. It was really tough, but we ended up being there, not at our full capacity, and we did our best. But then once they announced Charm was going to be there, I was like, if I was here if I had the 100 still, it could have been like remember this car? They'd be like, yes, respect.
Yeah.
But so I was like, damn, the 100s are going to be there. I don't have mine. It was a bit of a depressive episode, but we get through it because we're going to get it back. Sorry, Devlin, I'm buying it. I'm going to get it. Yeah. He's not going to watch, but maybe he is.
Maybe.
Yeah,
He's gonna be
great
like, is he
car.
gonna talk about the car?
I think about it. I think about it all day, every day, dude. Every day I think about that car.
Yeah. Almost every micro accomplishment, he's like one step closer to buying it back.
Yeah.
That's so wholesome.
It's great. I'm championing for him.
Yeah.
Charm didn't give a shit about my car until I popped the hood, and then they're like,
Something about just getting that
1J,
thumbs up
good.
is just
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're like,
it's-
hood dump. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do it all for the attention of the originals in Japan.
Yeah.
all-
They're all like pretty young too.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. They are.
One of them got like super blasted smoking weed with.
Fuck.
I'm not gonna say who,
That's
but
so
we saw.
tight.
We all got into the.
That's so tight.
We all got into the elevator, and like him and I'll say who it was. Fucking Adam from that works at Coro Understeer King. Him and
Yeah.
Adam walk into the fucking into the elevator, blasted like red eyes, and then we all just like he's like They're all just fucking crying, laughing. Oh my god, dude.
That's an experience. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Welcome to America.
Yeah, right.
Adam's got that rapper weed based on his eyes,
yeah.
dude.
Never again.
Oh my god. So, I guess like future plans for the Real Dream stuff. Like, I mean, I see you guys putting out like really cool merch and making cool stuff, and
Yeah, on Real Dream stuff, I'm kind of like spearing the head on the clothing side aspect of it. Just it's a really good opportunity to make a good brand around it. I've kind of like, even if we're not putting out collections, even like just through like the branding of the cars and the media, I've always just kept like a certain, I don't know, I've just made like a brand around it, and just translating it to clothing now, which has been really fun. It's kind of like my my passion project. And then Nikos like spearheading figuring out the logistics of like how the drift team is going to continue to operate.
Yeah, we've had a lot of serious POW sessions about it recently, and we kind of look at it's been almost, I think 5 years this year of being a drift team, consistently driving until we moved, but we're still trying to keep it up, which means we're probably going to, we're kind of discussing having a tryout for a West Coast line and East Coast line, and potentially further lines in other areas of the world if events continue for certain events.
also like maybe bring more people on.
Yeah, we want to have an event, or not an event. We want to have a tryout date in the future. I mean, we have a lot of
that's
friends that
cool.
want to do
Yeah.
it, but
I like that.
the idea kind of, we're allowed to talk about the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. It's, we've been really trying to get the idea right before we present it to anybody, but I think we've got it to where we want to have 4 drivers on the West Coast doing Special Stage Northwest, and then same cars, same livery, you know what I mean? Everyone, It's just going to be a big auto real dream team that's bi-coastal. And we are in talks with some friends to make it happen on the East Coast as well, so we can both attend 2 final bout events. Simba has to say our name at least twice. And then permission granted, one team wins. They always ask, who's your squad for Maine? We'd love to get a big union of Real Dream.
That's cool. I like that.
So we're trying to work out whatever kinks may be involved, and we have some pretty good points that we've talked about with David Bob, who's going to be leading the East Coast division, so to say.
Yeah, taking stuff seriously.
It's kind of just an extension of like how brands would have regional skate teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big influence
it's
on
just
it.
readapting that into a drift team, and we're like, why doesn't?
Yeah,
like,
there
it's
should
a perfect
be
copy. Control V, Control C, Control V.
Yeah, that's actually sick.
Imagine a team line that let's say final bout's the main thing this team is built for. I mean, we did it just to drive with friends when we all lived kind of close to each other, but now it's like we could develop Real Dream along with the brand into something much bigger that really puts our efforts, in front.
Seems like Final Bout's getting a lot more serious. Like,
Dude, I always thought it was the fucking coolest thing. Like, since I had the Final Bout 1 DVD, and from there, before I started drifting, I was like, this is all I want to do ever. I would love to. The pinnacle of drifting, like the summit, is like what you strive for and what you reach for, and that's 100% Final Bout to me. So I always was like, we got to push for that. It's, what other grassroots series can we, have deadlines for? Like, it's like,
true.
If we were just a drift team, that's still great. It's like still like a skate team. You just go skate with your homies. But we're talking about a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money for a lot of people involved. I always felt like there needs to be a thing to go for, and it's Final Bout, really. So
Yeah, going through the pits on Friday when like it was completely empty, there was no one there, just all the cars, and I was like, this is pretty insane. Like, there's like, I don't know, like a couple $1 million in drift cars and parts.
You're
like,
right.
Just like parked in a big ass circle.
Yeah.
And
In the
you're
middle of
like,
nowhere, in the
There's
middle of the
no one
country.
there. And I'm just like, this is kind of starting to get really insane. And like the competition's starting to get really like harder, and the car show scores are getting harder, and like the fucking driving's like starting to push. And it's like, it's kind of starting to turn into this thing that's like it used to just be like a big gathering, and now it's like this thing that people are taking seriously, and they like want to go home with a trophy. And
It's super exciting too, because like if you equate it to skateboarding, when you watch 2003 or something, Eric Carlson does a big nose slide in front of a bunch of people, and as a kid you're like, that's the craziest thing ever done on a skateboard. And now like 9-year-olds doing crazy flip in, flip out of like blunt slides. Do you think drifting can take that route? Do you think it'll only just get more ridiculous? Or is mechanical limitations on vehicles like always going to make a backy the most crazy thing you can do, you know?
I think the driving is going to continue to push.
Yeah, it's always going to, I mean, it's just going to get closer, tighter, faster. Kids are going to grow up doing it, seeing what we've done, and we're going to look at them as older people and be like, what the fuck are these kids doing?
There's
today?
always that like first dude to like link a section that everybody manjis.
Right,
you know?
right.
On like every track, you know,
Exactly.
like there's that like classic like Nakamura clip at like, I think it's E-course or like everybody's like manjiing. And then he just connects the two and everyone like goes nuts. And it's like now everyone drives it that way. You know?
Yeah.
There's just going to be like, it is just like skateboarding where it's like, you know, early throttle, like, you know, reverse entries are hard, but then try and like throw like early throttle on a reverse entry or like, you know, snap sooner or harder or whatever. And there's like all these like little things that you can like add to it with more and more flair. Like I'm looking at my entries from last year, 2 years ago, and I'm like, oh, like I wasn't on throttle early enough.
Yeah.
Like that's lame. And people are like, that's so sick. And I'm just like,
it's like, no, you can
I'm like,
do
no,
better.
it's fucking weak. Like, you know?
And it's also setting the standard for team driving. There's nowhere else in the country, nothing else happening in the country that you can like see footage of really like a competitive level of team driving.
Yeah.
And it's like you have something to strive for in that. Like if you watch like this year's Proceed runs and Front Street runs, that's like the standard now for what a team on track should look like. So it's only like people are going to be chasing that standard and who knows, even like surpassing it, even though it's like there's like millimeters.
You really can't
like
get
left
closer.
to surpass it.
Yeah.
It'll
Like,
just
all
be
you can
more
do
of
is
a
go
sig-
faster and like transition harder.
Smoother.
Yeah, maybe
Make it
cars
look
look cooler.
effortless, you know?
Who knows what that progression looks like? But it's, you know, now there's a new standard to like that people are going to be upholding themselves to.
Yeah,
or
it's like
at
almost
least
perfection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Front Street and Proceed really said it at Final Bout 6 last year when everyone couldn't tell who was going to win. And it was just insane driving all the way through. Now everybody who attends Final Bout knows if they want to be first or second, they've got to do better than that. And that's going to be fucking nuts to see happen over the next few years.
And if you watch the Final Bout 1 DVD and you just look at what team driving looked like then, and in hindsight, that's
hysterical.
not that long ago.
No. Yeah, we're still in the infancy of it.
Yeah, like
It's
the
still-
team that won was like 1 or 2 car lengths apart. Like everybody.
high fade.
Yeah.
It was, they did good, but it wasn't. I mean, they would have been
It was clean and smooth.
Yeah, it was exciting then.
exactly.
And people were like, oh my God, no one spun out.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
a clean run. And now that's like, you know, it's a
Yeah.
given. Everyone's
Yeah.
gonna put a complete rundown. Like, of course, you dummy. You're here.
It's going to be interesting to see where things go.
Yeah.
Very excited.
I love it.
That's why even if I get to a point where my body, I mean, I'm sure I'll be 45 years old, hopefully able to still race and drive, but maybe not complete. You know, the older you get, the less you want to be under a car at a drift event, swapping a transmission out or
Yeah.
something. So while we're able-bodied, cool. But in the future, I'll be more excited to attend a drift event. I have
Maybe
a hard
that's a
time
good reason
going.
to have kids.
Say it
That's what
again?
I was thinking.
Have them be
Yeah,
your
yeah.
pit crew,
Have your
you know?
kids be your
Yeah.
pit crew. I was thinking the same thing, bro.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
get
this-
under there.
Yeah, exactly.
Pull that diff.
This trajectory of drifting is like why we're gravitating towards this idea of expanding Real Dream and what it can be, because it's kind of adapting to like this newfound growth that's happening in drifting.
Yeah, and as a clothing brand too, like every time he gets on a computer and cooks, I look at it like, this is so fucking cool. Like, how did you, like, he's brilliant when he really locks in.
Dude, those
it's
blankets
awesome.
are like some of the coolest
Dude,
shit I've
it's
ever
insane.
seen.
Thanks.
Like
Yeah.
when
My good friend actually who lives in Colombia, he designed it.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, I remember
Pablo.
before Final Bout 6, we were all like, all right, we're not doing liveries. We're just gonna, it kind of came too close to the wire. Seb was like, yeah, I'm gonna make a livery. And then the guys were like, we're not gonna get it. Like, we'll just do regular cars. We'll do stickers. And then like a few weeks before he drops the render of this, and we all were like,
We want
fuck, now we have to do liveries. Like,
I mean, it's good. It's very simple. It's
Simple.
like very like Japan street style. Like, it's sick.
yeah, so I mean, just the things that we've been coming up with in terms of clothing and accessories and stuff. There's a real like fun brand behind it. It's
Yeah. I think there's something to be said about that. Like, it's kind of cool that, I mean, fuck, for the last like 20 plus years of drifting in America, like the only people that were making money doing it were like the top 3 in FD, you know, and everybody else, like you could kind of like get by, and then like the YouTuber thing started, and like they're making money, but like they're making money because they're YouTubers, like not because they're getting paid to drift. I mean, maybe they are now, but like as time goes on, like I'm seeing more and more people come to grassroots events. Like people like want to support grassroots driving. Like people want cool, like unique apparel and stuff. Like I've seen that with like the Goodest Co stuff. Like it's people like want to like be a part of that like lifestyle, you know?
Yeah, I mean it's like it's the band T-shirt. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had so many T-shirts, Iron Maiden T-shirts. I bought every one I could find because I just wanted to be thinking of it all the time. Same with drifting. If you don't have a car and you're really into it and you want to be, give me T-shirts, give me merch, give me stuff. So.
Yeah, and especially it's like, oh, you can't get this anywhere else.
Yeah.
You guys are making me want to get a drift car.
You should.
So that's actually why we brought you here.
Yeah, this is
we're not
actually
even
an intervention.
recording any of this.
We've been naturally trying. We've been talking to him, and we were like, you know, he's like, I know if he does it, he's gonna become obsessed with it, and I don't know if that's good for your psyche right now. I think you should ease into it by driving.
A week ago maybe, but right
Yeah.
now, no.
Drive my car when we go to Apple Valley.
Yeah.
Like you get dead ass.
Just
you can
drive
do
your
I
it.
really want an
cars.
S13, but there was a little while where we were sending them in the group chat, and just none of them were worth it.
Yeah, no, it's tough. Like you got to be willing to build it.
Yeah.
It's a
and
tough
do it
time
all.
to do S chassis.
Yeah, so we'll
Like
see.
you got to really commit to fucking.
I would do an
piece of
LS
shit.
too, but it's just way too big of a car.
You know, they never. I don't know. I feel like anyone who builds an LS, like they're awesome, and I love it. And I want the idea, but I've seen a lot of people struggle with them.
Yeah, no, I need something easy.
Yeah.
I'm R word when it comes to working on a car.
That was the first car I did donuts with an LSD. It was a LS 400.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
That's great.
I think it was sick. But yeah, I don't know about. I mean, you can have fun with it, but if you tandem with anybody and they mess up, dude, those LS 400s are
dude.
tanks.
Yeah, no, it's
Do you remember
too big.
Reed's car? Do you know Reed? He had the red LS 400.
Oh, dude, I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
car.
Zach got that
was
car.
sick.
Zach bought that car and did like 2 events with it, and he liked it.
It was sick.
But it just was
so
like
big,
a
dude.
Nobody-
yeah, it was just so.
Nobody
big.
ever does them right though. Like
I don't-
they
I don't
always
know
like.
why.
That kid around here's got the green one.
Yeah, yeah.
That one's pretty cool.
I forgot his name.
A lot of people drift them automatic too. Like it
Yeah.
takes a lot to make it, and then it ends up just being not like looking like a luxury car. It's just kind of like a big long car.
Yeah, well, they
You
like
might as well
need
get a
they need
Disney.
aero, and like a lot of people just they'll like put wheels on it, like fit them out, and then like
Yeah.
drift them with like no kit, and they're
Yeah.
just they're so like I don't know. They need some.
They're too easy to draw.
I love them.
That's why I love them so much.
Yeah.
I would do an S14 too, but the market, it's the same thing.
You know what? The market has come down a bit. I mean,
It's
10K, you're getting a car and taking it to Apple.
But
Valley.
it was more so like what was available
Right.
on the market, not the price of the market.
Yeah, I've seen some good. We'll talk about it later. We'll
rough.
revisit.
We'll
it.
talk about it later.
It's a rough time to buy a S chassis, that's for sure.
It's almost like that ship has sailed.
I do want you and James.
I
to
know we're
drive
like
me and
almost
Seb's
in the
car.
Corolla era,
Yeah.
like of
I don't know
S
what else I
chassis.
like.
It'll go down, I think.
Yeah, I think you if you're gonna buy one at this point, you have to like really, you have to build it yourself,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
from ground up.
Just get one from John over in Osaka. Get a right hand drive one.
That would be sick.
It's honestly like your
sounds
best bang
easier
for your
than-
buck.
yeah,
is
honestly.
getting an
Honestly.
imported one.
He's sending
With
them
that-
every day in
With that exchange rate,
That too. Yeah. Exchange rate.
with the exchange rate right
Yeah,
now,
they're
that
half
might
off,
be the
almost
gym.
half
It's not
off.
as good as it was, but it's still really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When we
Japan's
were
still
there,
on
it was
sale.
absurd.
Yeah. It was literally almost like half off.
When you guys came back, there was a point where I think it got a little bit higher than when you were, and then
Well,
it
I
dropped.
was there during the whole interest rate thing
Yeah,
that like
yeah.
screwed up the whole global economy. Shout out screwing up the global economy.
Yeah. You're like, dude,
Shout out, pal.
I'm getting this bumper for plug.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna fly this bumper on the plane. Sorry, I mean bow and arrow.
Comically large.
That was a cool story.
No
though.
arrows. I said no arrows. I was like, it's
No
just a
arrows,
bow. I
just a
promise,
bow.
no arrows.
It's arrow, but there's
yeah,
no arrows.
arrow.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Hey,
Bow and arrow.
Damn. And on
Damn.
that note, no, I'm kidding.
Just cut it.
Crazy
Bye.
company name for an arrow brand, Bowen. Just bow and arrow. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's too close to Boeing, and they're not doing well right now.
Headshot right now.
You're about to get put on a hit list.
Yeah, we can't talk about Boeing on this podcast. I'm not trying to get assassinated.
You said too much.
Damn, we got COVID, Boeing. What else do we talk about?
Yeah. Oh no, I don't like this game.
Name drop that guy at the restaurant. We're gonna bleep out the name of.
Everything you said you guys didn't want to talk about.
We talked
Yeah.
about.
It always happens. Just manifest your destiny.
Yeah. You're going to air out like all the dirty laundry you saw at fucking Rolling Loud. I'm sure there's some wild shit that you can't talk about.
No,
Not really.
Not really. Yeah. It's not as crazy as you would think.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
I mean, a lot of
Behind-
these artists are just pulling up for their set and then leaving. So
Yeah.
it's not like there was any.
There's definitely crazy shit happening like behind closed doors, but
Yeah.
and mainly substance abuse, which is not even that crazy.
Yeah. That's like
Just go to-
expected.
Go to your hometown.
There
and
was
you can
that
see
one
it.
time. There was that one time that kid in the crowd was yelling like "active shooter" or something.
Oh right, I
And
remember
the
that.
dudes that were hiding on stage with the ARs that we didn't even know were there walked out, and it was crazy. These dudes were like built like fucking mercenaries, and they're just like looking around, and then they're like giving the nod like it's all safe, and then like the concert continues.
What?
I didn't even know these dudes were on the stage.
Crazy.
They're like
Yeah.
deep lurking in case of that type of situation.
That's
which is
wild,
crazy.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah, I think
fuck that wasn't like an actual.
Dude, yeah, I was like, I don't even know where to run right now.
Yeah. I remember
Really
feeling
go
stuck.
I got this
Down.
big ass camera, dude.
Yeah. There's nowhere to go.
It's like whenever I drive, because I've had like 2 attempted carjackings in LA already. So now I'm like, sometimes when I drive certain cars, I'm like, all right, I gotta always be on point, ready to go. And like one time I was at a red light, and my boy saw me. He was walking his dog or something, and he like walks up to my window and then just screams. And I was so shook that I froze. I like, because you see videos online of someone scaring someone, and their immediate reaction is to like punch the guy in the face.
Yeah.
And I just froze, and I was like, damn, I'm like all talk in my own head. Because like in that scenario, I didn't know what to do.
Gotta be on point.
You almost
Gotta be
got
on point.
carjacked here twice?
Twice, once in the LS and once in the 993. But the LS one was the scarier one because the guy chased me for like over 5 minutes.
Yeah, and you're not like
The 993
set up to
was,
run
like-
away from anybody in that thing.
That's
It's like
quick.
on air. and-
I was running red lights at like 60 in downtown where the speed limit's 25.
Damn.
Can you say that one more time for the mic?
Well, I was on the phone with the cops too, and they're like, where are you? I was like, yo, lady, I'm like booking it. I don't even know where I am. I'm just in downtown. The one time there isn't like a bike cop handing out stupid speeding tickets.
Oh my god, dude.
But I don't call them anymore because they don't do shit. Literally one time I had a bunch of film stolen because I thought the car I put it in was my Uber, but it wasn't my Uber.
I fucking hate this story.
And I called the cops and I'm like, what should I do in this kind of situation? And the woman literally said to me, you can just take it into your own hands. So I interpreted that as going on Facebook and saying, is anyone related to a police officer? Found a kid whose neighbor, his dad was a police officer. His neighbor went in his dad's squad car at night one night, typed in the license plate that I had, gave me the address. We went to the address. We scoped it out. We found out it wasn't who I thought it was. I posted his phone number online. He went to the cops because so many people from my Instagram were blowing up his phone, and he couldn't drive for Uber to feed his family because he couldn't answer any fucking calls because his phone was blowing up. So then Seb, because the guy only spoke Spanish, Seb had to translate an apology for me over the phone while the guy was at the police station trying to file a harassment report against me. While I was taking my ex to some Christmas neighborhood that was all fucking decorated for Christmas, trying to have a nice little date night. And I'm like yelling at he's the one who stole my shit. And they're like, he's saying that you're fucking harassing him.
You'll be like, yeah, give me my shit back.
And I'm like, I need Seb to translate. Bro.
I'm on a three-way call.
Christmas.
Oh my god,
Like,
dude.
Feliz Navidad.
But the cops were like, yeah, I apologize. But the cops were like, we can't do shit, so you should just handle it yourself. We were ready to break into this dude's car and take some shit back and all that.
Yeah, film is.
It wasn't even my film. It was Crispy's cross-country film. He like sent it to me to get developed for him. And during that time, we would like Uber the film to the dev spot and all this other shit.
It was before Uber Connect because
Yeah.
you used to just have to order Uber. If you wanted to move a package via Uber, you had to order Uber and just tell the driver like, yo, it's just this. Just get it there safely.
Yeah, and the Uber, it was like gray Prius is now arriving, and I go outside, and this gray Prius whips an illegal Yui, and I'm like, Uber for Mike? And the guy's like, yep. And I'm like, here it is. And then 2 minutes later, the Uber trip cancels, and it turns out the actual Uber driver was in a gray Prius around the corner. That was just some guy who like happened to flip a Yui right when I walked outside, and was just like, yeah, I'm here to get your whatever's in that bag. And it was just film. So he probably like, I checked all the trash cans in the area to see if he like threw it out the window or something.
So you never got it back?
No, I had to call Chris and be like, hey man, all that film from your cross country road trip, I kind of like lost it. It was a dark time. It was a dark time.
Dude, yeah, I was with him when you gave him the news.
Oh my
Devastated.
stomach hurts, bro.
It was a dark time. He was cool.
don't
He
feel
was-
good.
I mean, I don't even know. I don't know how we even got to
Shout
that
out Crispy.
story, but
Yeah, how do we get
Shout
there?
out Crispy.
shout out Crispy. Yeah, he's a good guy.
I think it was just talking about in general,
We're still
like
good
LA
friends.
is.
Oh yeah, LA.
We were talking about getting
right.
carjacking.
When you
Yeah,
went
so
from
yeah,
carjacking.
so
And how
now
crazy shit's
now
out
in
here.
a carjacking or in a fucking someone trying to, we don't call the cops. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, taking it into your own hands, like
Yeah.
fucking
We just
Fast and
commit
Furious.
assault.
yeah,
Yeah.
you tickle them until they poop their pants.
You're gonna start arming yourself like the truckers in Fast and Furious.
You know what's funny? Seb is the most anti-guns, and we go to this one arcade that has a quick draw game, and he's the best at it. And we're like, bro, you should be the one.
He's got a pass.
You should be the one strapped up. And he's
Hey.
like, I would never.
Yeah, I don't have any guns, but they had they had like a shooting, like fucking SIG or whatever had like a shooting day.
Oh yeah, at Special Stage East.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had.
Yeah, they were like,
it's
oh,
the
since you did like an
military thing.
announcement, we made hella money. Like you could just shoot whatever you want for free. And I was like, all right. And then they had me do like, or they had us do like all these like challenges, or it was like a competition or something. And like the guy showing us around was just like, oh, these fucking idiots. And one of them, I did so good. He's like, dude, like you fucking scored like really high on this. And I was like,
Yeah, I got it.
saw
like
that Time Crisis I played growing up, dude.
Dude,
Time Crisis 3, baby.
Time Crisis 3. I had that on the CRT for the
Yeah,
house.
with the
Yeah.
gun plugged in.
Yep.
The blue one. Yeah.
Oh, that was honestly like peak childhood.
Yeah. Halo was my peak, but still, Time Crisis.
Yeah.
Crazy. Time Crisis went crazy, bro.
Chat, clip that.
Yeah, clip that.
Yeah, maybe Time Crisis is why I'm so good at that quick draw game. Because I would frequent to an arcade that had Time Crisis 2 growing up.
Yeah, 2 and 3 were the
Goated.
yeah.
Time Crisis is a hard name.
Yeah.
Be a sick
Yo.
gift team name.
Because
Yeah.
being alive is technically a time crisis.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow. That's deep.
Yeah.
Wasn't I not supposed to say that
I
though?
just ceased to exist.
We were talking about in Japan how Strong Zero is a sick drift team name.
Yeah.
I can't believe that hasn't been done yet.
With like
Right?
the lemon
it doesn't.
livery.
It doesn't make sense. Strong Zero is such a good name for a team or for anything. It's just great.
Aren't they like getting rid of those?
No,
They're
They're getting rid of flavors.
Oh, maybe some
Let's talk
flavors,
about
but
this.
they.
This is important shit.
Yeah,
people
yeah.
need to
Actually,
know.
Yeah.
we should have had the whole podcast about this.
We should have gotten.
We should have
fucking-
got some.
We should have
More
had
96
Oh,
Cs,
yeah.
yeah.
Not Strong Zero this early in the day. Well, it's a Friday.
They cut. I think in Shibuya and like Center City, Tokyo, and stuff like that. No more open container law. Like,
I saw that.
You can't just be.
Have you ever
drinking.
In the next few weeks, yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you ever seen? Do you know what Convening Confessions is?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, I'm so happy we're
Bro, yeah.
Yeah.
great company
We're
right
actually
now.
the fan club.
Yeah.
Dude,
I met the dude last time I was there. He was
No, you
super chill.
didn't?
Yeah, yeah. Because he's also a rapper.
yeah,
Yeah.
I figured that out because I was like, I looked him up or whatever, and he's like,
Yeah. The homie, my homie DJ, shout out DJ Mark West. He is like a producer / like him and the guy who's actually on camera like plot all of the like we're gonna go to this neighborhood tonight and whatever.
Sick.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're like tapped into the Convening Confessions, dude.
They're cool, yeah. Not on that level, but like as
Yeah.
as homies. But
Yeah.
no, I fuck with what they're doing.
Look at the look on
It's
his
my.
eyes.
It's like
I know. I
He's
know.
so excited right now.
honestly, that's like
it's like if you know his hero.
that's in my top 5 IG accounts.
yeah.
They're doing good. They're doing good.
Yeah.
They're asking
I've been
good
following that
questions,
shit since like the beginning.
That's sick.
I think I saw the very first one and I sent it to like everybody I knew. And I was like, this is it.
It's like it's like Tokyo's side talk.
too. Yeah, Tokyo Side.
It
Talk.
is. Yeah.
What happened to side talk, man? They had a good thing going.
Dude, I was just in Amsterdam and I saw a Side Talk sticker
Wow.
on one of the buildings.
Goated.
I was
Do you think
there's
they got
no-
like too big and it was just like they couldn't like tell people to pull up anymore because it would just be like insane?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Something genuine, something like real had to have happened
I mean, what you said, everything cool has an expiration date.
for sure.
Mm,
Too cool, too quick.
Yeah, like the Bing Bong fucking
yeah.
era of Side Talk.
Yeah. Yeah, Lil Mozzarella can only be so cool for
Lil
so
Mo.
long.
Mo Mozzarella. How you doing?
Spider Cuz.
Yeah. Dude,
Someone-
Spider
someone
Cuz, I don't think
freestyled
he has an
today
expiration
for the
date.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. That dude has too much energy to,
Mozzarella.
to ever be
with the
uncool.
blicky.
He runs off Henny.
Little fella. Mozzarella. There we go.
Damn.
Sick.
You killed it. Shut it down. Hold it down. Hold it down. Hold it down.
Hold it down.
Everything cool does have an expiration date. Good thing this podcast isn't cool yet. Let's look at some
I'm trying to think
time
of things that don't have like SpongeBob will never expire.
No, yeah, there's definitely things that are timeless
Mm.
and just engraved in culture.
SpongeBob.
like TE37s.
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah,
I'll give it to him. Yeah.
I'll put T's in that basket.
Yeah.
There's like things that go in waves too. Like I remember like it was like VSKS were cool, and then like nobody fucking wanted them, and now they're like sick again. And I was like, I should have bought more.
Yep.
That's everything, bro.
When they dipped, like
Yeah.
we'll see.
Look at us with no Bitcoin.
Fuck. I had so many chances, bro.
Yeah, same.
I could have retired so many times.
Same.
Ugh.
I like to
bought-
think
I
that they're
bought
parallel
Dogecoin.
universes. You bought Doge?
I bought Dogecoin on my work computer, and then like that's gone. I think I last time I checked, it was like fucking 20 grand, and I spent like $50.
I got an NFT.
I
I bought two.
Garage. I like mine. Mine are classic cars. So
Yeah, I bought like
why something garage. I
the guy
forget.
who does all my merch, like art, dropped some NFTs, and I bought them because I was like, support him, and like, who knows, you know?
I remember in like
Like,
2000.
they're not worth anything.
I probably don't even own mine. Like one of those spam emails.
Yeah,
I got
something took
definitely
it over.
Stole my NFTs.
In 2006 or no, maybe like 2007 or 8 years ago, me and my friend, we bought an entire Bitcoin for I think $150 because we wanted to buy something off of a website we shouldn't. That's all. It's just
Silk Road shit?
Yes, it was literally Silk Road. And then what we ended up buying didn't make us millions of dollars, but
Did it make you a little bit of money?
I didn't make me much. I gave him like $20 for it, but we had it.
Dude, my boy used to ship pillowcase-sized bags of like Molly to his house from Silk Road.
Yeah, it was exactly
like,
what we were
10th
buying.
grade.
Molly. Yeah,
Insane.
we owned a Bitcoin.
Sick. I wish Silk Road was never mind. I'm not gonna get into that.
I wish Silk Road was driftable.
So welcome to part 2 of the podcast.
If
wish
Silk
the
Road
dark
was a
web was a
thing when
real
I was
place.
younger, I would have been. I probably would have bought some Bitcoin. I'll just say that.
What's like the drift equivalent to Silk Road?
Feels like a top garage.
Damn, I wish I had a good answer.
I mean,
for that.
isn't there like a company that makes parts called Silk Road? Oh, they make
Yes,
manifolds.
There's a
That's sick.
a Silk Road brand.
Yeah,
I thought I was
they
thinking
do have a
Silky.
Silk Road manifold, which is like kind of
Yeah.
funny.
Silk
That's-
Road would be
that's
a cool
sick.
drift team name.
Yeah, I
It's
would.
actually really
Dude,
good.
it's
Silk Road
Silk
2.0.
Yeah. Yo, they just dropped Silk Road 2.0.
Damn, this whole podcast is us just being like, that would make a good drift team. That would make a good...
Yeah.
Because ours is
Final
good.
about next year. There's a strong zero team. There's a
Silk Road team.
Silk Road team.
Silk Road's a good name.
It's really hard.
Team Molly.
Yeah.
Team pillowcase full of
pillowcase,
Molly.
Yeah, size bag full of Molly. 2.0.
That was probably like cheap too. I don't know.
I didn't partake because I was a good boy until college, but my parents were very strict about that stuff.
I'm sorry to hear that. I think, or maybe that's a good thing. I don't know.
Well, like the second time I smoked weed, I get caught and get suspended, so it was a rough start. But
Damn.
But you stuck through. Look at you now.
stuck through it, yeah.
Head down, grind on.
Smoke on.
Don't subject yourself to other people's realities.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good advice.
Beer 2.0, that's a fire
Dude.
drift team name.
Yeah.
I can't believe like we have AI, but we don't have Beer 2.0 yet.
I know.
Isn't
dude.
that like kind of messed up?
I think we'll get Beer 2.0 before GTA 6. though.
Maybe right after the election. We got Beer 2.0.
COVID.
Bovid 2.0? Damn, the finals
Stop.
between Beer 2.0 and Bovid 2.0? That'd be a
Damn.
crazy final match.
It's like Elon Musk versus Joe Rogan.
Team Elon. Elon 2.0. Elon 2.0 is a judge this year.
MC at final bout.
I want to get the
2.0.
dude with the. I want to get the like Chinese dude who imitates Elon Musk to
Oh my
come to
God.
fight.
Oh,
Or
Elon Ma.
Elon Musk, dude.
It's so hard.
That's so tough.
That's a great idea.
Like, does he? Is it AI or does he really look like
No,
Elon
that's
Musk?
really,
Yeah.
that's really.
Oh, yeah, he really looks
He's a
like
real guy.
Like him. I know him personally.
Sick.
We had to get him
Yeah.
cars for a production.
Yeah,
He needed 3 Teslas.
He's like, I need some Teslas, and
yeah.
you're
Yeah,
like,
there's 3 Cybertrucks.
Yeah.
You'd think Elon Musk could get 3 Cybertrucks. But
yeah. He's blacklisted.
Oh man.
Blacklisted's a cool. drift
Black-
team.
Blacklisted. That's a cool team name.
Yeah.
Mike, get a car. Focus on Real Dream first.
Focus on Real Dream before I start all these other teams. When you sell Real Dream,
Yeah. when we have to make our return back to the underground.
Mm.
It'll
Sell
be
it
Silk
off.
Road.
Sell it as Zoomies or
It's actually kinda
something.
tight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
When we sell out to
Sell
Zoomies
it to a
to
private
fund our
equity
drifting,
firm.
It's not gonna
Yeah.
happen. I'm sorry, guys.
we'll push for it.
I'll
But
turn down checks.
Do you think any like okay, so there's obviously like the YouTubers getting into like retail stores and shit. Like, do you think that'll ever happen to like grassroots people?
I hope not.
The opportunities
What do you
present
mean? What do you mean
themselves.
by that?
Like donuts and Zoomies and
Like donut
Adam
and
LZ.
Zoomies?
You go to Zoomies, it's all Adam LZ and donut.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call Adam grassroots.
Well,
No, that's what I'm saying. Do you think it'll ever get to the point where like grassroots people are like having brands? I don't know. Like,
Yeah, but it would
is
stay
Bronze
within,
56K like
but
grassroots
that's still
skateboarding?
underground.
yeah, you can't get
Even
that
though I
in
guess
Zoomies.
you were, what's like, do they have bronze at? They have bronze at some shops.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
like
have it at
skate
skate
shops,
shops.
that's
but,
skate
like,
shops,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but no.
yeah. We need like the drift equivalent of like skate shops.
That's you as you guys said that, I just thought that exact thought, and I was like, how could they make that work? And then I guess it would just be regular mechanic shops that have cool pro
You'd
shops.
have to just be a rich guy.
Yeah, because there's
You
not
wouldn't
enough.
make money off that.
There's not enough people in like confined places that care about clothing and cars that much.
I also don't think there's enough teams with like cool enough merch where it like
Not
work.
enough people making.
But
it.
there's like people are putting out cooler and cooler shit. Like there's like teams that like aren't huge names, but they're like making really sick like apparel to like help support it.
Yeah, we've had the talk a million times where like anything that's drift t-shirt related is just a black t-shirt with a white pocket print and
On
then
the
maybe
worst blank possible.
on a bad blank
Yeah.
and then
on a Bella canvas blank.
I feel attacked.
On,
okay.
on like,
I
That's a
use
staple.
good blanks. I use good blanks.
that's good.
on
That's
like a
good.
3-ounce active wear.
Quit looking at the bottom line and
Or
looking at the bottom line.
Or you know
Bottom
what
line's
would-
a good drift
You know
team.
what would solve
ooh,
that?
that is a good team name.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. Seb, you
It's
should
all
just,
like bunch of rich dudes.
you should just do all of the merch for all the drift teams, but like they send you the designs and you just get the shirts made.
Nah,
You order
fuck
the
'em.
right blanks.
That's going very corporate with it, and
No, it's not. It's like, yo, like you don't.
Yeah,
you
you-
guys aren't doing it right. So like, I'll just help you with this one step of the process.
What
Yeah,
about the,
Real Dream
You don't want to be
so
like the
special.
CCS of like drift.
Yeah.
Yo, look at that big the dance comp. That'd
Wow.
be crazy.
Dance comp CCS.
Oh, dance comp.
Damn.
Oh my
Just
god.
open
I
a
haven't
fucking
heard that
like a
in so
file
long.
cabinet in my brain.
That was my childhood.
Yeah, looking at those.
Yeah, bringing that shit to homeroom. You're like, all right, for Christmas, I want this fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like
Backpack.
circling the shit.
Nah, shout out Enjoy the Board on Instagram. If you were a CCS kid when you were younger, he's posting like daily like old Esh sneakers and old CCS like stuff. Like
It's like scanning the pages.
It's really good. It's really
I
good.
love that. I
Yeah,
love
Enjoy
pages
the
that are
Board.
doing
Shout
that.
out.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah,
So-
where like who's got all the old CCS catalogs? Like
Enjoy
they
the
have
board.
to exist somewhere.
Yeah, whoever does have extras, please like find my Instagram, DM
Yeah,
me.
we need to
I
add
want to
them to this
like I
table.
want like a bookcase full of that shit.
A drift CCS would go absolutely dummy.
Yeah, I would.
Any print media.
We
would
need
go
to
dummy.
block this out and we need to make it
Talk
happen.
about this
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
camera. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
but
gonna edit this one out.
yeah, I love looking at print from those days. I feel like it's a lost art, obviously.
It's a good chance to drop R&D night right now.
Yeah, we're planning R&D nights here, which are like literally going through print stuff, giving people opportunity to like, Xerox, like through all our collection of magazines, books,
We combined have like
stuff,
hundreds of vintage magazines.
and everything from like
PlayStation
fashion
Mag
to
fashion to cars to
You know the like PlayStation Underground demo discs.
yeah.
I was an intern at the company that like made those when I
That's
was like
crazy.
14.
No way.
Fuck,
Yeah,
sick.
I got to like I would like test the discs before they like went into the magazine.
That's awesome.
That's some grandma's boy shit.
Honestly, dude, that job was so weird, bro. Like it was very grandma's boy. Like it was like early, like before tech was like
Tech.
tech and
Yeah.
like you know
I know.
doing ayahuasca and like fucking.
I don't know about that yet, but one day.
So in those days, you
gonna try
aspired
it, I
to
think.
work at Geek Squad.
No,
I see how one led to the other now.
Yeah.
I
The pipeline.
I had
a
that
direct
internship
pipeline.
that was like really cool, and then I just like had some like family shit, and I just like went off the rails for like a long time, and then I got a job at like electronic stores because that was like easy to get. Yeah. And then I was like, well, if I'm gonna work at Best Buy, I'm gonna fucking install car stereos. Like I don't want to. But yeah, one of the dudes there had an S13, and like that's like all of us got into it. Like just one of them had one, and like his friend had like this like really sick like Sil 80 with like aero front bumper and bricks and like Type X wing. Like it was like a really well done car. Like
That's sick.
back then, this was like 2007 or something. So
It's really interesting because this is the second Geek Squad donning something in car culture that I've heard of. Do you know Frank Downstar? He started the Downstar dress up Bolt. He's very known in the Honda community, but now like a lot
Sick.
of other cars use it. But his start was at a Geek Squad.
Yeah, I didn't know how to work on cars like at all before that. So I like learned how to like take apart interiors and like do wiring. That's why I do wiring for everybody, because like that's where I learned how to do that shit. I learned how like relays work and all that stuff.
Damn.
Yeah.
That being a domino that falls into you, like then you like wiring your boys 1J harness. And
Yeah.
The one man geek squad.
Yeah,
In
dude.
Drift World.
I just did fucking Brandon Cotto's fucking car play, dude. I'll still get on the tools and throw some beat in somebody's shit.
Still hop on the crimps.
That's tight.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
literally goes back to like Mike's thing, like not thinking that you're like surpassed something, you know, like through your whole journey. You kind of like just take these things that you learn and you adapt them into your current world.
Yeah, that's like kind of how I got the job I have now, because I learned like programming, and then because I learned car audio, like I do like commercial audio visual stuff. So it was like, I was like designing systems back then. They just were a lot less complicated. It's like, you want these amps, if you want these subs with this RMS rating and blah, blah. And it's like, now I'm just doing the same thing just for like big ass companies, not like some high school kid with his mom.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Life's crazy.
Yep.
Damn.
Also, Geek Squad, sick drift team name.
Oh my God.
Fucking hard.
Bring Geek Squad
The
back.
orange cars.
Orange, black, and white. Team orange color.
Dude, Geek Squad slept on being a main sponsor for Team Orange.
Oh,
They
That would've
wouldn't have
been
to do shit,
epic.
but just put a big logo.
Geek Squad would be so. I'd be so offended if someone used that name.
They come in last. They like don't even qualify.
Dude, imagine Circuit City. And
I worked there too, bro.
Circuit
RSR.
City was the jam.
PC
I worked there
Richard and
too.
Son.
PC
What?
Richard and Son for the washing machines and shit.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
That might be
the
an East
Circuit
Coast thing,
City
I'm
I
not
worked
sure.
at. I learned how to do donuts in the parking lot, because like
Hell yeah.
we shared the
crazy.
Richmond Bridge with like Richmond and like Oakland and shit, and like all the people that worked there were like OG sideshow dudes. So like after work, we would all just spin donuts and whatever we had. I like had a Mercedes like 300E, like W124
Nice.
open diff, and I'd be out there just like automatic, like trying to spin it and shit.
fire.
Yeah. And then my mom had like a Q45. It was like
I
a
love
piece of
those.
shit. And like I would just sit on limiter, and the guys, the dude with the Fox body like 5.0 Mustang's like, nah, bro, you gotta feather that shit. And I was like, all right. Swear to God, that's where I learned how to like not do that. It was in my Circuit City uniform.
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing. Wow.
Back when you could do donuts in a parking lot and it was okay.
Yeah. Well, it was like kind of not the nicest area, so
Yeah.
yeah.
L.A.
It was in NorCal, but yeah.
We had some parking lots in Jersey that you were good
Yeah.
for hours.
What's crazy is it shared a parking lot with ILM, like the people that did all the motion graphics for like Star Wars.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So like
Nice.
it's
That's
like
a
all these
crazy
dudes and they're
collab.
like working on the new Star Wars movie, and we're like fucking doing shitty donuts and like cars.
They got R2D2 doing donuts out there.
Yeah. That would be sick.
Dude, R2D2 would be a sick.
Yeah. It's those like little moments that you don't realize are gonna like affect you forever, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%. And they just happen so naturally.
Yeah. Right place, right time, I guess.
Always.
Right place, right time.
Yeah.
What was it saying? Luck is when opportunity and preparation meet.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That's
A bar.
Yeah.
that is a bar.
Yeah.
That's a bar.
The Circuit City Donuts was you preparing for final bout.
Yeah, I was. Full
Luck is-
circle,
luck is
dude.
when opportunity and what preparation meet.
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
Yeah.
Put that one in your back pocket.
I am.
Oh shit.
I heard a quote when I was in Amsterdam shooting something and I forgot it. I like when I heard the dude say it, I was like, I should write this down right now, and I forgot it. I'm so mad.
Was it like
It was like
How do I interject?
it was like the feeling of basically him and his team were trying to reach this goal, and like they were working on it for months, and then that interview was right after he had reached his goal, so he was like super giddy, and he was like the feeling. He said it very eloquently, but what he basically said was like the feeling of reaching your goal will always be exponentially greater than the feeling of talking about your goal. And it was like a motivation thing where he was like, we talked about this for so long, And like I enjoyed that process, but nothing compares to the feeling of like saying we did what we were talking about that whole time. But he said it in like a very easy to insert one-liner.
Don't talk about it, be about it.
Don't talk about it, be about it. Yeah,
That's a good one,
but
yeah.
like it was more like
Cool and European.
it was like no, because he was from the U.S. It was
Oh.
like it was like it's fun to talk about it, but nothing beats actually doing it. You know, like it was something like that.
It's like
But
drifting.
spoken from a corporate guy who had fucking swag. So
Hell yeah.
Sick.
he had aura. The guy with aura.
1,000 points.
Didn't have swag. Sorry.
I
kill me.
have to leave like right now to go to work.
I think it's like a good time to end it.
Yeah, I didn't know how to like bring up. I was like, I gotta be at work in like 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
down the road though, so it's no big deal. So we can edit that out and maybe do the thanks guys.
Yeah.
See you.
No, I'm leaving it in.
Hey guys, Nico has to go to work.
I'm so broke. I'm the only employed
You're actually
person
the
out of
only
all my
unemployed
unemployed
person.
friends.
My boy's
No.
broke.
I
he's
moved
unemployed.
to LA to be on an unemployed friend on a Wednesday doing some dumb shit. Now I'm working. This
Now
is
you're employed
crazy,
friend on
bro.
a Friday.
You're just trying to get that JZX back, dude.
It's all for the
So he's
JZX.
so locked
for the
in.
JZX.
I'm so locked in. 2 jobs for the JZX.
Shrine in his closet.
It's on my phone.
Every
There's like
paycheck.
photos. And like, yeah. He has to make a pilgrimage to go see it every year. Little photos.
Yeah.
Light a candle. Anyway, speaking of not talking about it and actually like doing it, we finally did the podcast. I've been talking to Seb
Long
about it for
talks.
like 2 years or maybe more.
Yeah. I love how it turned out so perfect on some like, I want to do this. And then I was like, how's tomorrow?
Yeah.
And we're here.
Yep.
That's how it goes.
Yep. You guys killed it. I feel like this could have been like a 10-hour podcast. You guys have like so many stories and
We
shit.
can go
so-
on.
We can go on, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like pick a topic.
For the
and we-
Patreon, we'll do another one for the Patreon.
Yeah. Good call. Once I start
Yeah.
it. I know Faction has a Patreon. And Pile Up. Should I make one? No.
Faction's got that OF too.
Do they really?
Yeah.
It's like all
It's just
ASMR.
Only Frank?
It's like Frankie naked.
Only Frankie?
Frankie shot
Frankie
ASMR.
It's all,
helicopter.
wrenching ASMR.
It's like Frankie naked watching horror movies.
Unsubscribe.
It's his 240 running.
Oh my god.
We love you, Frankie.
Frankie's dope.
I'm sorry.
I like Frankie a lot.
That was a golden era. That was amazing to be a part of.
Yeah. Frankie's car running was a golden era.
Oh my god.
Nico's got to go to work, guys.
All right.
All right, bye everybody.
Adios.
Thanks for listening to that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This is
Yeah,
this is
thank
really
you.
fun.
Thanks for rearranging your whole ass shit.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
for
Anytime.
this
I mean, it was-
cool-
Any
like
other
this
95
already.
degree day.
Yeah,
no
oh, yeah,
problem.
yeah,
We were just actually sitting here when you pulled up.
Yeah. Thanks for the very like.
Anytime you want to move furniture in a 95 degree day, hit us up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll watch you do it for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. It was worth it, I think. Hopefully.
I think so.
I agree.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Bye,
Bye.
Nora.
Bayonetta.